Give me coffee in the morning, gotta have the caffeine. Wake me up, shake me up, dip me back on the sea. Must shit to shit, set a feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive. Woke up in the morning, sleepy eyes yawning. Jumped out of bed, started the day, opened the curtains. Felt the cool breeze, the sun shining on my face. But something was missing, I needed my job to chase. Give me coffee in the morning, give me coffee in the morning, gotta have the caffeine. Wake me up, shake me up, dip me back on the sea. Must shit to shit, set a feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. It's still the weekend, isn't it? So welcome on in here. It is a Saturday night with Salty. And no, I haven't changed the theme song because we're all used to it. So we don't care if it's morning or night. We're just going to roll with it. Welcome in, everybody. Forrest, Carrie, and Butterfly, the mod team. Always so glad you're all here. Carrie, welcome in. Maybe we'll get some people on in here on this Saturday night. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Miss Rachel, happy birthday to Rachel. We got to have a birthday celebration. I hope y'all can hear me. I didn't even check to make sure. So y'all all join in and yes, wish Rachel a happy birthday. Is this thing not working? I am literally showing a happy birthday to Rachel. There we go. It's delayed on my it's delayed. Guys, internet's a little wonky this evening, so we're just going to see how this goes. It gets stuck in my head too, Carrie. I'll be popping off singing while it's on. Sometimes I'll be unmuted and forget. I looked around sort of kind of for another evening type nighttime theme, and I'm like, none of these are cool. And I'm not paying some website to give me some copyright material I can use. I got that one for free. Awesome, good. The sound is good. Rachel, we hope you are having a fabulous day for your birthday and a fabulous evening as well. And thank you for coming in and spending a little bit of time with us on your birthday. All right, guys, we are going to get started here in just a few minutes on what we're going to cover today. I know there's been some more body cam type footage dropped, not body cam interviews in the Koberger case. We'll get to those. We'll probably do a Koberger show tomorrow and try to get caught up on some of the things we haven't reviewed yet so we can clear the week for next week, right? Got lots to discuss still, and there's still a lot of Delphi to uncover, and I'm also working on another show. Hopefully that will come up this week as well. And it may be sensitive in nature, but it's true crime. It is what it is. We're going to do a little investigating. What is that called? Investigative reporting. We might try that here. We might give it a whirl. I heard it's easy. Anyway. We are so honored that you do choose to come and spend your time with us. We appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate all of you, all the listeners, all the chatters, all those who want to come in and be a part of true crime, and stand up for victims and see their cases through so we can get justice for victims, not so much about everything else in between. We've all seen how unfortunate, we've seen for a long time, but lately we've really seen how bad these streets can get, right? And Idaho 4, it got super crazy. Delphi, it got super crazy. Karen Reed just went out. It just went out into outer space somewhere. The hidden true crime of it all. And then the Sebastian Rogers case. Boy, oh boy. Did we make a mess of that one? Well, we didn't. I didn't. I got accused the other day of being a part of that mess when I wasn't, right? No. We are here to set the record straight. Press pass time. I probably bought it directly from Bullhorn herself. She's like, I got some free passes. Oh no, they're for sale. I wonder what you have to pay for a press pass on a website. I have no clue. So I don't know. We got some listeners who aren't chatting, so I don't know how many of you have ever really followed the Sebastian Rogers case. Sebastian Rogers was reported missing on February 26th, the same day Madeline Soto was reported missing. We all held out hope for both of those cases, right? And we see how Madeline's turned out. Madeline was murdered by her mother's boyfriend. And Sebastian has never been found. It doesn't make any sense this day and age that a child can walk out the door and never to be seen again, just disappeared into thin air. And this is one of those cases. And then you introduce it into the true crime social media world, right? And oh boy, and social media wouldn't have, I don't know if they would have made a mess of the case if the father hadn't come out and made a mess of the case, right? And to be clear, going into this stream, I do need to say this. This is not a crime drama channel. I'm not into the crime drama of it all. This case, Sebastian Rogers, blew up that world, okay? They're still at it today. To the point where it's no longer about missing Sebastian Rogers, right? It's about a whole bunch of other stuff that we're not going to get into. Only person we'll evaluate throughout this process of the Sebastian Rogers case maybe will be old TikTok Tony and the mess he made. And I'll explain more about that later. So for my mod's sake, I got one with a real trigger happy finger. It's like, I love that finger. Anybody comes into the chat during a Sebastian Rogers stream that we conduct over here and points a finger at a parent, there will be no warning. Your comments will be removed. I don't normally take that kind of stance over here about taking away the comments and, freedom of speech and all that madness. This isn't about that, so get your panties out the wad right now. This is about don't come into the chat and accuse a parent of a crime if you don't have a receipt to take to law enforcement. Because what the hell am I going to do about it, right? But sit now and hijack the content of what we were discussing and now run on for hours and arguing with fools about who did what. No. We're not here for all that. So we're just going to do what's been going down lately. Still trying to get clear-cut answers on what could have happened to that child, right? What we knew then, what we found out, what we know now, and what's come out in these new leaked audio calls. Let's see. Welcome in, Dasani. Hey, yeah, you caught us live. My schedule is a little all over the place lately. Jet, welcome in, Jet Set. You know little about the Sebastian Rogers case, okay? Now, Sebastian's dad has a YouTube channel. I forget when he created it. It was a while after Sebastian went missing and he was panel hopping and doing all the things and running amok. He ended up creating his own YouTube channel. And I think he has live scheduled for tomorrow. I haven't kept up with what's going on over there because when I listen to him talk, it just, you know what I mean? So I quit paying attention. But I did see a live is supposed to happen tomorrow, and I don't know if it's in response to the drama of it all that's been unfolding lately, or if it's put your focus back on my son, right? Which, sorry, but you took it off your son a long time ago, but we'll put it back for you. We will do that here. That's what we're going to attempt to do. Now, oh, I didn't upload my photo, my picture of Sebastian. Okay, the missing poster I had. So Sebastian was 15 years old. He was diagnosed with well, there's no concrete evidence he was ever diagnosed with being on the spectrum. Katie has now Seth has come out and said his piece, and his Sebastian's mother has come out and made statements as well. Now he did suffer from a chromosomal was it a defect, or I guess, and he also had some issues in schools, and it's kind of like the run-of-the-mill kind of problems that a child with possible autism may be having, right? There's a lot of that going on. And then his dad would come out onto YouTube and seem like he was a little out of it and just spill all kinds of information about his son that he shouldn't have. I mean, it went overboard, which caused a lot of problems. You know, there was no need to come out and say all the stuff you said. Then you insert a bunch of people trying to insert themselves into the case. A bunch of streamers. Everybody wants to talk to the families. Everybody's going to do this. Everybody's going to do that. We're all going to go boots on the ground and video us looking for Sebastian. Just whatever you could think of, they were doing it, right? And yes, we want boots on the ground. We want to see searches being conducted, but do it in the right, responsible way. Don't run out there boots on the ground for clicks and views, because you're going to trip and fall one day. And when you do, we're all going to be here to laugh. I just made that up, and it was pretty damn good. Okay, so if you don't know, at some point since Sebastian's been missing, well, in the beginning, Seth did hire a couple of private investigators. It was Chloe and Heather. They're both a lot. Well, Chloe's was always on the X. She was private investigator, and then then they brought on Heather, and then, boy, it got messier. I think because of that. Because for some reason, private eyes think, well, I'm on the case. I'm going to come out and speak in tongues. Yeah, that's what they do. They come out and they speak in tongues to us, and we're like, what are y'all even doing here? Trying to trip one of us up because we got him and we're going to spill the beans in a chat? Okay, it made a lot of sense, but y'all, you get a knock on the skull sometimes and wonder what's happening upstairs. Yeah, y'all think he's high functioning. Yes, he was very high functioning. I've got a clip I'm going to show you guys of his teachers talking about Sebastian. And we've heard the teachers talk about Madeline Soto, right? And their abilities and their capabilities. This child wasn't like a 3-year-old. He was a 15-year-old boy with a few disabilities, right? But he was perfectly capable of moving around on his own, getting around on his own, taking care of himself, doing all the things, you know. Like, what are y'all even talking about? Some people want to make it out as if this child couldn't function without an adult standing right next to him at all times, and that is simply was not the case for Sebastian Rogers. Now, there's no evidence of what happened to Sebastian that night. Nothing. He has a day with mom. They go run errands. They end up topping the night off with a dinner at a local restaurant. There's cameras that see them there. We have that as well. They see them go out, get in the car, and leave. They go home. Another camera sees Sebastian go out and take trash to the garbage can, go back into the house. That was the last time anybody saw Sebastian Rogers, including a camera. So the camera that picked him up out at the street curb taking the garbage out doesn't see him. I don't know if that camera can literally see their front door, though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like somebody coming and going from the door, or if it just sees out by the edge of the road where the can would be. Because if Sebastian walked out the front door and cut left and then cut left again and went down beside the house, the camera out front that saw him at the garbage can may not even see him. And that's where I stop. I'm like, okay, full stop right there. Because even if he hurt Sebastian like cats, there was a neighborhood cat that would frolic around the house, and Sebastian loved the cat. I wondered to myself, I wonder if he heard that cat outside. Because reports are he left barefooted. Did he go out to get the cat and then end up following the cat? And then something happened, right? I don't know. Don't know why he would leave the house. No, Dasani, Monkey is Michael Vaughn. He was a 5-year-old that went missing, and there was just an arrest made in his case. Sebastian Rogers is a 15-year-old boy. Michael Vaughn was from Idaho. Sebastian Rogers went missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Sumner County, not just outside of Nashville area. Okay, so Seth Rogers, the father of Sebastian, ends up hiring a couple of private investigators. Now, they ended up backing away from the case at some point. Long stories for all of it, but whatever. We're not going to go into that yet. So at some point, what do they call themselves? At night, creative intelligence comes on scene, right? I don't know much about this guy. I know what I do see is weird. Like, I don't trust you. I don't. You're weird. So he's put out a lot of stuff in this case on his X account, and I think there's a certain YouTube account that they may or may not work with. I'm not sure, but they sure put out a lot of they share one another constantly in their content, right? So at night comes on, and then at some point, they're like, we know what happened and we need all this and we're going to do this and this, and y'all call us if you have a tip. Then they brought in Dog the Bounty Hunter. I'm like, are you serious? That long-haired guy from back in the day that used to run around looking for fugitives, y'all bringing that guy into the case? Okay, I wasn't impressed with him back in the day when everybody else was just falling in love with that man. I never watched him. I tell you, I'm just being honest. I don't know much about Dog the Bounty Hunter and his crew. I didn't care for the person, so I never watched the show. And then I would see things in the media throughout the years about him. Now here he is all up in the Sebastian Rogers case. I'm like, dang, I cannot get away from some of these people. They're going to show up wherever I'm at. Anyway, kind of like the United Cajun Navy. They came into this case as well. And I'm like, oh my God, not the United Cajun Navy. I'm from hurricane country. Man, don't tell me they're coming in. Like, what? Then you insert Jules, the canine handler / actress. The TikTok Tony of it all. I'm here to save the day. I'm going to be Seth's spokesperson. I can tell you how True Crime Tony got started in true crime, and it was not with Sebastian Rogers. We'll get there. All right, so At Night Media recently released audio that is of Heather, the PI. In one, she speaks with the Proudfoots, and that is just Heather. The other one is Chloe and Heather. Now, I saw a couple of streams trying to figure out who they were, and I'm like, y'all are literally, they were on your panel. How do you not know who they were? But okay, I see you now. Chloe and Heather. Let's just, because we know, we do our research. So let me pull up the video, and let's hope that it works. That we're not just running so bad on swamp signal, we just gotta sit here and chat. Okay. Let me get this up. So when Sebastian took the garbage out and he goes back in later that night around 10 p.m., he's in his room, he's going to bed. Mom's in the living room, wherever in the house doing her thing. Katie said she heard a thud. This is why I say y'all need to check those thuds in the night. There was a thud in the Koberger case that was unchecked. It was a thud in the house that went unchecked over here. I have a 15, well, no, I had 15-year-old boys. My youngest is now 18. And I'm going to be honest with all of you. If I'm in my bedroom or my living room, my 15-year-old's in his bedroom and I hear a thud, I'm not going to get my tail up and go check on that 15-year-old boy. I'm going to yell out, "Son, what are you doing in there?" Which is what Katie did. And he yells back, "It's all right, Mom," whatever, People took that and just tore her to pieces about it. "Oh, I would have went and checked on my kid. I'd have done." Would you really? Think about what you do when you're sitting in your home and you hear a noise coming from your 15-year-old's bedroom. Do you get up every single time? And mine was a gamer. There was a lot of shit I heard coming out of that room I chose to ignore because I picked my battles. If it got too crazy, I'd go in there. "Boy, what do you think you're doing? Tone it down." Right? But it's normal to hear a thud and say, "Go to bed, son. What are you doing in there? Chill out." "Yes, ma'am. Good night." Then around midnight, Katie goes to bed because she had had a phone call with her boyfriend, Chris. He was her live-in husband, I guess. They're married. Yeah, her husband. He was out of town working, so they're on a phone call. Katie falls asleep around midnight-ish. The next morning, Monday morning, she gets up, goes into the room to wake Sebastian up for school, and he's not there. She ends up getting in her vehicle. She's looking around the neighborhood. She calls Chris. He calls 911, and they meet her back at her house, and then the search began for Sebastian Rogers. Now, in the first one we're going to play is going to be her speaking, Heather speaking with, he is the former, well, excuse me, let me get my shit together here for a minute, guys. 1 minute. Just trying to learn about the investigation, right? That's always been my end game with this case, and getting investigation details have been the hardest thing. They haven't released a lot in this case. They're like, everything's close to the best, It's like, you got to give us something. All we have is a picture of Sebastian Rogers to share. That was it. We know nothing else. Was there a car involved? Was there suspicious activity on a phone? Did y'all do a geofence warrant? Did you see all the numbers in the neighborhood that night? I'm sure they did a geofence warrant. Were there none on there that didn't belong? Because when a geofence warrant is conducted, you look for what does not belong. So you got all the residents. Now you got to sort all their numbers out. Okay, these all belong here, right? Right, Dasana, you call out, right? We are over, get your 15. We're not getting up every time you make a noise. You're not 2 and 3, right? Get your ass quiet and go to bed, son. Right, you hear a thud, you think, "Oh my God, crazy done fell in his room. What's he doing? You okay in there, son?" Your daughters can get in there and jump up and down dancing at a fool and do the same thing. It's not just the boys. TBI has been very tight-lipped with this case, but you know what? I cannot help but think about Summer Wells. I'm like, come on, TBI. While all the creators were fighting with each other over Sebastian Rogers, I'm over there giving TBI a hard time in the corner, and people are telling me, "Stop it. Stop it." I'm like, why? Y'all are over there fighting about, I don't even know what. Can't I fight them on giving us some more information? Tell us what you do know. Look at Summer Wells has been gone for how long under your watch? Yeah, it's called pushback. I'm in Florida. I know all about it. We pushed back and forced change in the state of Florida, and we are 1,000 times better for it. So y'all can sit. It's like the people who want to discuss Melody Buzzard's case. I don't want to come on a live and sit here and talk for 2 hours about this wishy-washy woman who won't produce her child. No, I want to have a conversation about what the hell are we going to do as a society to change the law on parents who don't produce their children. Can we have that conversation? Because Lori Vallow did it and finally was court ordered to produce them babies and never could. And now we're playing with this lady. Tell us where she is. Nope, I'm not going to do it. Okay. I can talk about her nappy ass hair and her stupid wig all day long. It's kind of like talking about eyebrows. What's the point? I'm going to get bored in 5 minutes and say, to hell with this bitch. Sorry, rant over. I went off on a little rant, didn't I? All right, y'all know how I get. Trying to find the investigative stuff they did. So this is the PI. She goes and she talks to. Now, Craddock's the sheriff that's got the case, but this was the former sheriff, Roy Wilson. He has since passed away. So rest in peace, sir, and thank you for your service. And like I said, this is released by At Night Creative Intelligence. I put that on their little video, on the video screen, so nobody gets upset. Hell, they still might. But I don't think they will, because they want this out there. They leaked it on purpose. They want us to talk about it. But they can't control the narrative of how I talk about it. Woohoo! I got some mind of my own. All right, so we're going to give this a listen. And hear what he says to her. Listen to what Heather bothers me a little bit, because she comes off as super condescending in both of these calls. It's like, you calm down, ma'am, and be a good little PI, instead of coming in hot like you're going to solve something here, because apparently you didn't know, you didn't solve anything. You left. You packed your bags and you left, like the rest of them. All right, it would help if I shared the screen with you guys. Okay. Yeah, they just put an ankle monitor on her. There's no law. There's nothing. I mean, think about it. Child endangerment, child neglect, child welfare. If you are a parent and you have custody of your minor child and you fail to tell authorities or anybody where this child is, you can just go home and go to bed? Make that make sense to us. It doesn't, does it? Lord, help us all get through some of this stuff. Well, she got arrested for holding that one man hostage. Now, she allegedly told him what she did with Melody, where she took her, who she got left with, everything. So instead of coming to the media and telling all about it, he should have been with law enforcement, and I'm pretty sure they've already got to him. Now, if anything she told him is true or not, who knows? I hear she's a big ass liar anyway, so I don't trust it. I don't trust what, she told him. I don't know him enough to know anything. Oh, look at the Celeste case. Oh, PI, what's his name? SF has got some timelines on that lately. All right, so this is the private investigator hired by Seth Rogers, speaks with the former Sumner County Sheriff, Roy Weatherford, on the Sebastian Rogers case.
That right there on her.
Let me get it back to the beginning. Of course, it's going to do its thing. Okay. Guys, as loud as it can go, so you may have to turn it up on your end. I got on headphones, and it sounds lower to me on headphones. For some reason, the headphones I do use aren't super loud like this other pair I have, but that other pair of the mic don't work, so it's what it is. If you can't hear it or having any kind of issues, y'all just let me know in chat. Okay, here we go.
So let me tell you.
Okay.
We have done a 5-mile grid around the house, and we've done all that. And we actually have where every person took a footstep. So no, we covered every block.
Right, you did the grid
Right.
search. Okay.
And then what we had them download an app that actually showed us where they were
Star
stepping.
topo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we knew exactly where they went.
Okay.
And so we've done that, well, we did it for a whole week. And then we've gone back and we did it another 2 days, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And so we drained ponds.
I knew you guys did that.
We had divers in ponds.
Yeah.
We've got, as far as I know, all the footage of every camera that's on either street. And
And just nothing.
that's nothing. We see him go into the house,
Mm-hmm.
but we never see him come out of the house.
So strange.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, right there he says, we never see him come out of that house in the end. They don't see him come back out of that house. So where, I need to see that camera. I wonder if the PIs have all seen that camera. I wonder if SF saw, because he went down there for a while to investigate, hooked up with what's her name, Cluminati. I think he went down there and met with them, her and her fiance or whatever. So they did a 2-mile grid in the very beginning. They expanded it to a 5-mile grid. We've known that for a long, long time. The map around this location, they do live in a little neighborhood with a lot of little houses there, real close to the school, but back behind the neighborhood's different story. Open areas, wooded areas, there's caves, there's all kind of things out there. There are a lot of ponds around there. There was a retaining pond very nearby, which is the one that Max, the K9, went straight to and dove in. So we just heard him say that they drained all the ponds. We knew that they had drained ponds and all the things back in the day, but draining all of the ponds, doing the 5-mile grid, all of the cameras so far from within Bow Streets, that's going to be Kellen and Stafford Court. That's the 2 roads in that little neighborhood. So they got all of those cameras. Now there's been leaked footage, and we'll look at that, and it's at night. It's dark outside, and these kids go out and play flashlight tag. Oh, that just reminded me of neighbor Bobby, who inserted herself into the case as well. Geez, see how these cases get out of hand. Everybody and their brother starts coming out of the woodworks, and then you have certain media personalities, social media types that just clamoring to get them families at all costs and let's platform them. And sometimes their emotions are so high, it may not be the best thing. People came out and felt some type of way about Katie Proudfoot because she never spoke out. At one point, I was a little taken back about her not speaking out, because here's the thing. I know why her and Chris claimed that she didn't. But I'm going to tell you right now, I know me well enough to know my child is missing. No man on the face of the earth is going to stop me or intimidate me to where I cannot get up and speak out and say, find my baby. Period. What's he going to do? Hurt me with some words? Go sit down, old dude. What are you doing here? No, ma'am, not going to happen. That was my only, and I don't judge Katie for doing it or not doing it, right? I just don't. But let's let it continue.
I agree 100%. But, we have footage where they were in Hendersonville eating, and they left there and went to their house.
Right.
We saw them go in the house.
And to be fair, she did come out and speak a few times to a couple of platforms. And then a long time went by and we didn't hear from Katie. We heard a lot from Chris. And then Katie did come on a live one night, and it was very late, and she did speak, and it was so refreshing to hear from Katie outside of a bunch of pressure from this crazy world, outside of feeling like Seth was sitting right there watching without feeling like she had to hide. She talked about Sebastian, all about Sebastian. That is all she did. She told me all about him, what he liked, what he didn't like, what his capabilities were and weren't. I was sitting there wishing, man, I wish that she had been given the proper opportunity to do this from the beginning. Because I'm going to tell you, the minute Madeline Soto went missing and we saw the very first interview with her mother, oh boy, everybody jumped. She did it. She did it. She did it. I'm like, hold on a second. I got to have a baseline. I didn't know Jen Soto at that moment, but right now this lady, I'm clocking her and something's amiss. But I can't tell if she's distraught because her kid's missing or she's distraught because I got to come up with a story real fast. The next thing you know, everybody turned on Katie Proudfoot. I'm not going to sit in a world where the second a child goes missing, I'm going to tear their mother to pieces on social media. Not until I have a damn good reason. Jen Soto, how you doing? Jen, Florida's looking for you. It's a good thing I don't live down there in jungle land. I might have been the one to have found her. What I'd have done when I found her? Probably nothing but talk to her. Like, hey, Jen, come here, girl. Let's have a talk. I'll be your friend, you poor thing. That's how you get the goods from the people. Don't go in hot screaming at her. You know, she's never going to talk to me then. Good Lord, I got to go pretend I have some sympathy or something. That takes a lot of energy. All right, so he just said they can see him when they get home that night and they go into the house, and then he does come out and take the garbage out, in which Katie had stated, and then he goes back in, and they don't see him come back out.
House, and then 6:20 maybe, he comes out and takes the trash to the end of the road, at the end of the driveway, and we see him go back in the house, turn on some lights in his bedroom. That's it.
That was from a neighboring camera, I'm assuming.
We,
It's from a neighboring camera that you can see all that, yeah.
But like I said, when she called us, we had people go to the house, search the house. We even got thermal imaging to check all the walls in the house.
Thermal imaging to check all of the walls in the house. Now, that was talked about early in the case. People made a lot of noise about it. Of course, when you hear thermal imaging's brought into the family home, you're like, wait, what? Was there a reason for that? Did we have some probable cause for that? Well, yeah, the probable cause is going to be you never see the child walk out of the home. So, did he disappear within the home? It's happened. So they go in with the thermal imaging and take a look at that into the damn walls. Guess what? They didn't find him. All of y'all can probably comprehend that, but that's for the people in the back that may not be listening well enough.
Just to make sure that he went and stepped in a wall somewhere. Because we don't show him leaving the house, which is the strangest thing.
I literally, guys, just watched a show the other night, and it was one of those, I couldn't tell you, 2020, 48 hours, Dateline, all the whatevers. But this guy took the bodies and he hid them in a tree. There was like a big hole in the tree, right? Big giant tree with a big hole in it. He drops those bodies into the tree. And when he finally told the cops that, they went out to the tree and there they found them. I'm like, in a damn tree. Out of all the places and all the things I've ever heard of hiding a body, that was a new one for me. I just thought about that when they were searching in the walls. Butterfly says, did they use the thermal imaging after draining the pond? I don't know the timeline on when they brought the imaging in and when they drained each pond, right? They had to go pond to pond. I don't think they had a team out on each pond at the same time. So let's see. Oh, of course, when I start it back up, it does this stuff. I should have known better. Hold on, guys. Give it a moment. Let's see if we can make her work. Sometimes if it does this, I have to take it down or bring it back up, and it's just fine again. My signal appears to be decent. Yes. There we go.
The footage of him taking out the trash, was it pretty dark by then? That was before the time change? It was before the time change, right?
And so the reason we went to the landfill in Kentucky was because the trash was taken, collected that Monday morning,
Right,
right about dark.
right.
And so, you know, I had, my opinion, one of the best teams. We had TBI, FBI,
Yeah.
Secret Service, we had TEMA, and then we had at least 200 volunteers that were in law enforcement or first responders on the ground every day. And I'm not telling you, I'm just trying
I
to
know.
give you information on
Some
what we have
perspective.
done.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
And so
Now, that landfill in Kentucky was searched, and they're in Tennessee, but their garbage truck, once they pick up and it gets transferred out, it literally goes across the state line to a landfill in Kentucky. So when they saw that the last thing they see is him going to the garbage can, what he placed in the garbage became of interest. People are like, oh my God, they're searching. And what do you think when they search in landfills? We're thinking they're looking for bodies. That everybody ran wild with that theory. But literally, that's what it sounds like to me. What he placed in the garbage was of interest. And if he was placed in the garbage, they would have seen the same camera that saw Sebastian walk to the garbage can, would have seen Katie going to the garbage can with, let's assume, bags to discard. Don't you think? So I think they were looking for, what did this child, what could there have been something there that he put in that garbage? They go search the landfill. There was video out there of them searching that landfill. It's, I think, one of the local media outlets had that. But of course, they didn't turn up anything out of the landfill.
we've even called people with like cold cases and say, how did you find them? This is what we've done. And every one of them tells us, you've done everything you can do except find it.
Right.
So they've called in cold case units and talked to people. How did you find them? In the end, how did you find your missing person? It appears they have literally done everything. You got the FBI, you got the Secret Service. This is what boggles my mind. 2025, and we can't find a kid who went missing. Even when we get all the local law enforcement, we get the FBI, we get the Secret Service, we get Homeland Security, we get 200 volunteers. What? Like, if he had self-combusted, wouldn't there have been some ashes in the floor at least to go by? Jeez.
And I wish we'd get a tip today and we could find it.
You said within a 5-mile radius.
Well, that's land search.
Yeah, land search.
There's a creek several hundred yards, Rex Creek. We had TWRA walk both sides of the bank and then the creek itself all the way to Hendersonville. And then they did it out towards White House. And like I said, every pond that we have been able to find has been searched.
And I assume that you're aware that right there on her, where those woods connect, that is a sex offender with 4 aggravated sexual assault charges.
I didn't know it, but
Yeah.
I
So,
don't do our list either.
but,
I got one this morning said that the stepfather drove up here and got him and took him back to the job site and buried him on the job site. I'm like,
You don't think
oh, you
there's,
got proof.
yeah, I mean,
So
I did get a tip. I've been involved for probably a month now. I did.
Okay, I don't know if y'all caught what they just said about the tip that came in, that stepdad got Sebastian and he snuck home and he helped Katie and he took him back to the job site and buried him. Oh boy, social media was Bullhorn Betty, all the players, everybody freaking out. It was horrible for Sebastian because I was always concerned if so yeah, he's talking about how they looked at all the ponds, all of that. The tips were coming in, the tip that came in about Chris taking him back to work and all the things.
Get a tip a couple Mondays ago. A man drove up to me at the rudder, and he said,
Okay, this was a big deal because Heather took this to social media, what she's about to say to him. Now, she's from out of town. A man pulls up to her out of the blue and just tells her this random thing. And it's about Chris Proudfoot's mother and how allegedly she was seen parked at a store not far from the Proudfoot home before Sebastian went missing. And then the story was born that this is a staged kidnapping. Katie took him down there, dropped him off to Chris's mom. She took him, and boom, he's gone. Why would that happen? Why would she do something like that? Then you hear Seth took him. I'm like, that dude ain't smart enough to pull this off. Come on, you got to go kidnap your own kid, then you got to hide him forever and never contact the person who's hiding him for you. And the police are not looking at any of that, just in case. Okay. It's like, some of these theories, you just gotta, you gotta go,
The morning of the 26th, around 5:30 in the morning, Kathy Bowersox was parked right beyond the Shell on New Hope. He said he had called it into Sumner County, but he hadn't heard anything back. And I believe Sebastian's dad called it in again. I'm sure footage has been pulled from the Shell right there. I don't know what other cameras would be right there. It looks like maybe there's like a storage unit kind of thing right beyond that Shell, Worsham's Market, And the only reason I really believe there was validity, number one, I didn't feel like the man was lying to me, but also it was anonymously posted from someone, I think it was someone else because they described it a little bit differently.
You talking about the mothers?
The Christopher's mother,
Okay.
Kathy Bowersox, apparently has a decently recognizable SUV, probably because she's a real estate agent, that she was parked beyond Worsham's on the side of the road at 5:30 in the morning on February 26th, so about an hour before Sebastian was reported missing. I don't know. That's a little odd to me, and I just wanted to make sure y'all did have that tip.
I can tell you, I don't know all the
Maybe, well, I guess maybe hopefully Carter has that tip.
I mean, I could say, everything goes to him.
Right.
Is he available?
He's not here today.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have an interview with him for a promotion.
Oh,
He got sent to another county on a case.
gotcha.
All right.
All I can do, because TBI, and so we really can't release more than what I've told you right now.
Yeah, and that's
You can't
okay.
release the missing persons report, like the initial report, not the police report, but just the...
Yeah, see, Craddock, I need to get that report for the Q Center, and Craddock called me and said, y'all can't release it. And I'm like...
Because it's an open case.
Yeah, but I mean, the nonprofit organizations that do the searches, they get copies.
They work open cases,
That's how they do it. And so,
Just
I'm not really sure why
odd.
we can't.
We're not really sure why we can't. And he's like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm retiring. I'm peace out. And, and that was Chloe, the other voice you hear. When they asked him earlier about the offenders in the area and the one over there on Hurt Street, well, the first thing I did in this case was go to the map, the offenders map, and just found all of them right away. I even talked to somebody locally who kind of familiarized me with what I was looking at on the map. So there was one in particular that bugged me because it was so close to Sebastian's house. Close enough that if this person walked around the neighborhood and there's a wandering 15-year-old boy out playing, do you meet and say hi? Become familiar? Do you see him at the gas station down on the corner, say hi, and become familiar? It was just too close for me. And I'm always going to look at those guys in that way, and I don't apologize for it, right? Guys, you can go to your state police. Well, in Florida, you can go to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement website, and you can set up for email alerts on offenders in your area. And you can set your perimeters as far as miles within your home, and they're going to notify you every time one moves in, and you're going to see their entire record, including tattoos, names, last location, all charges. It's all there. So I encourage y'all, especially those of you who have children in the area, whatever, your grandbabies, go to your state agencies and find where you can get the website and sign up for alerts. I think they have it everywhere. Ours, they do amber alerts, the silver alerts, the purple alerts, all the alerts come down, plus the offender alerts when they move in near your area. But that one, and Heather says it's what she's down there doing, looking into all the offenders in the area. And automatically you think the cops will, but here's the thing: when you knock on the offender's door and they say, "Oh no, I haven't seen that child," is at the end of it. Does the law have the right to say, well, we're going to walk in and look anyway without a search warrant? They should be able to. I'm sorry, you don't have their certain rights are stripped away from you, including the constitutional right to have a search warrant to search your home when a child is in danger. Sorry, that was a notification letting me know my 18-year-old's on the move. That's how I roll. No, I don't troll him. I don't call him and question him about where he's at right now because he's out with friends. He's off work tonight. He worked all day, bless his heart. But yeah, I get that little alert when he's on the move, and he knows it. I can see him and he can see me. Just in case mama goes missing. Yes, girl, I see you guys are chatting it up about the social media. Vixie, welcome in. It's been a minute. Welcome on in. Allegedly speculating, you may be gone, but thanks for stopping by. I've been stopping in on her streams during the day when I haven't been streaming during the day. Okay, so you guys are chatting about Sebastian. So it came, at first he had no access to the internet. He didn't do all the things. Like we're like, if you got a 15-year-old, he's got to have his ways. He had a phone. I'm still not sure about what kind of access that child had. If you get that phone on Wi-Fi, he's got internet, right? No matter what parameters you got, the 15-year-old is going to find a workaround if he wants to. When he was visiting his dad, he was playing games online. Now, my 18-year-old's been a gamer since he could hold the controller. We've always had conversations about the dangers of what he was doing. Playing Xbox Live Call of Duty, right? Or the Roblox or whatever. No, he played that Minecraft. Yeah, he played the Minecraft. Always had conversations with him because I had 3 kids in the 90s. I had this one many, many, many years later, 15 to be exact. Times had changed, right? Now I got one with a device in his hand pretty much at all times. So it was time to educate myself and learn even about how they can hide apps from us. They can hide those picture albums and we don't know what it is. It can look like a damn calculator. You pick up your kid's phone, you see a weird calculator icon, tap it. See what happens. It might just be a hidden folder or a hidden app that you can't see. Well, Carrie, police have not come out either way in such a long time and spoke about who they technically cleared. But here's a thing. 1 year, we are just learning this. 1 year after Sebastian disappeared, so this past February, cops were back in that house again. That's, to me, I was like, what? After a year, you're back at that house, which was the last known location. But why, right? So did Sebastian have any communication with somebody online? Like when he was at his dad's, he was at home alone a lot. Seth would be at work. So there you go. He's at home alone. He can communicate. He can play online. When they can play online, they're playing with kids from all over the world. Adults will also be playing. I realized early on my kid is sitting in a room playing with kids his age all the way up into adulthood. And that's when I really started making sure I'm paying attention to the things he's saying on his end. Not like I'm standing out of the room listening, but I'm paying attention. So I can kind of gauge what kind of conversations he's having. You know what I mean? Being there without being totally nosy. But I have trust issues. I'm sorry. I just don't fucking. So, did he possibly meet somebody? Because that's my theory, is that Sebastian did meet someone online. Sebastian was going through a rough time at the time of his disappearance, and we can base that on what the parents have told us. There was a lot of back and forth about his schooling, whether to take him into homeschooling, change schools. He had some issues at school. He was having some issues at home as well. It probably wouldn't have been a bad thing if he did go live with his dad, if dad's on the up and up, right? But dad's schedule was chaotic, I guess, crazy because of his work schedule. He wanted a certain thing for school. It was just like a whole thing, right? Did the boy say enough? I've had it right now. This is a lot. And this friend of mine is offering me a better way. A way out of what I don't want to be in right now. You know, that 15-year-old mind. We're not adults right now. We're 15-year-olds feeling some type of way, not giving tomorrow much thought, right? Not giving next week much thought. What are we going to do today? How am I going to survive beyond today? I'm going to leave barefooted. What? Kids have done stranger things, right? It's that, and if you take a 15-year-old who may have some intellectual issues, that may make it easier, especially for a predator. Now, could this have been an up and up friend, just an older kid with a car? Well, yeah. Say a 16-year-old went over and got him. Where'd he take him? Back home. His parents aren't going to go, where'd this extra kid come from and who are you? And then they're going to be like, oh, cool, you found him? Cool, we'll just let him live here. No, not going to happen. I heard the theory that somebody in the neighborhood got him because they felt sorry for him and they're taking care of him. Like, y'all, if somebody got him and they're taking care of him and they're not telling the world, that's a problem. That's a red flag. Use your brain. So all those theories are bunk in my mind. I'm going to go back to the predator. The one that saw a kid needed a friend, and there they are, right? So he's spilling his guts maybe to this friend about his unhappiness and whatever's going on in his life even. I don't like school. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Whatever. Little friendship was born. Did he leave with that person? Then I'm like, where is that person at the crime scene? The only way Sebastian could have got out of that neighborhood without cameras seeing him was on foot. And the canine dog Max ran straight to the pond, went down the neighborhood, all the way to the back, straight to the pond, and dove into the pond. What does that mean? Right? Did that mean Sebastian went that same path and dove into the pond? Or did he get to the pond back there and there was a car waiting? Now, I asked Cletus, Cluminati's husband, because on the map, there's a road back there behind the pond in the cemetery that really bothered me because it's a little tiny country road. It's right off the highway. It runs right down behind the neighborhood, and you can absolutely get to that little road. And he said, yes, you can drive into the cemetery all the way up to where that pond is at back there. That's the only way I could think of he got out of that neighborhood, because he didn't get out of the neighborhood in a car. There was the footage leaked from one of the neighboring cameras, right? About, what was it, 3 a.m, guys, if I'm not mistaken? There's a car in the neighborhood, and police verified that it was nothing to do with the case at one point. There was the crazy trash lights in the background, that footage that came out about trash trucks and people. Oh, it was people with flashlights in the background. Excuse me. It was promoted as people with flashlights, and I think that one YouTube channel has just put about a year's devotion into the flashlight scenario, but the cops say it's trash truck lights, and Seth finally agreed that it was trash truck lights. He saw the video for himself because social media Sleuths were telling him, no, they're lying to you. That's people with flashlights. It's so damn dark, you can't tell what it is. It just, there's these two lights, but they're far back, set back, right? All right. Let's let this finish playing. But yeah, guys, do y'all think there's a higher probability that he left the house that night with someone he met online? Once we get to that point of what our theory would be, then how did he leave the neighborhood? And the only way I could come up with is walk the same way the dog went, but he went around the pond. Just why did the dog dive into the pond? That's a little strange, but I don't know the dog behavior like that. I'm no canine Jules, that's for sure. If you know, you know.
Get that for them.
When they told me you was here, I told them to go find him.
Yeah.
Because I knew he had talked with you.
Right.
But he's at lunch. Because he's doing interviews also.
Gotcha.
And so I had the last interview for the morning. And so when I got through, they had left. I'm okay. I said, are y'all going to do me? But anyway.
They left you to deal with me on your...
Yeah, to deal with us. Yeah.
These pesky PIs.
Yeah.
My God. All right. So, I don't know. We won't...
As soon as he gets back, I'll talk with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
We're not asking for a file. We're not asking even, just the missing persons report.
Yeah, and I don't, again, I don't need you to tell me what you're doing or what you know. I just want an open line of communication so that I can share with you what I'm finding out.
Okay. So I would recommend that you either talk with Brandon Carter. And I hate to say it, but the longer this goes, the more I feel like it's not going to be good for the family. I hope he comes back safe. I really do.
Of course, yeah.
But I don't, it's not looking that way the more we go.
Yeah, I
The
know.
longer time span.
Have you talked to the sex offenders and gotten alibis and all that?
I can't.
Yeah, you don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to push you, but...
I'm the sheriff, but I
Yeah.
don't, there's
No, I
things don't
understand.
know
Yeah, I understand.
Because
Yeah.
we have so many things going on.
Right.
But I can please tell the family.
Yeah.
We're working on it every day.
Right.
Well, he's not been forgotten by us.
Okay, so that was the end of that call. So the only thing we really learned from the call with him, let me get this pulled. Okay, that they did the 5-mile grid. They drained all of the ponds. They collected all the cameras that were available on the 2 streets, and the Secret Service, FBI, Homeland Security, all their involvement. It makes you wonder, what if they ended up finally retrieving the say the Xbox equipment, the accounts associated with, because you have to, if you're playing online with Xbox, you have to have a Microsoft account. You have to set up that Xbox Live account. There's a lot of things you have to do. You can buy the year membership to do certain things. You can pay month to month for a membership. There will be a data record of all of that Xbox activity. What kind of activity do they retain in search warrants? Like chatting activity and things of that nature, because that's voice, right? They are on a live talk. It's like me bringing somebody on panel and we're just sitting here chatting with our headsets on. Can they break off into private chats? Yes, they can. So I've always, talked to my child about, don't ever say where you're from. No one needs to know where you're from, right? Even if you if you want to say Florida, fine, but that's as far as it needs to go. You don't want to give breadcrumbs as to who you are and where you are, because these predators, man, they're good. They're fucking good. They group up together and exchange information and ideas, guys, on the Telegram and stuff like that. They know how to get to these kids. They know how to target and find that one, right? Yeah, it'll all be on that anybody that he was friends with, right? On his friends list, communicated with privately, offline, or in the side chats and things of that nature. All of that could show up. His cell phone data, would it have shown communication with anyone? You would think that if it did show communication with someone, maybe they did get that information, because there's been discrepancies about what they took and what they didn't, and who the hell knows. When the cops come out and tell us what we looked at, then we'll know. So say they did get some information off the devices, and they did look at people he was communicating with. Could they see the communications, right? Or because it was like a voice thing or whatever. So I don't, it's just such a damn mystery with this boy as to what happened to him. You got to watch them kids, Carrie, don't you? Them little fools be trying us when we're not watching. They'll try you in a heartbeat, but you got to be honest with your kids. You can't don't sugarcoat the world. I didn't terrify my child about the world, but he clearly understood the world could be a very dangerous place. And if you're not honest with your child about that, you're not doing them any favors. We got grown-ups that can't see red flags. So, but have those conversations with your kids. It's super important. Okay. And I heard it. Look, when my 18-year-old was growing up, I heard it. I need to get off the devices, need to get outside, need to do all the things. Jesus, I'm tired, man. I got 4 kids. They were all different. This boy is just fine. In fact, my little gamer who spent so much time on the Xbox and made everybody around him worry has been in the gifted program since 2nd grade, and he goes to school full time and he works full time, and he doesn't get into trouble. So all for the gaming. I don't care. I knew where my kid was every Friday night. What about you? That's what I know. That's what I started asking. Hey, Hawkeyes, welcome in. At least I knew where my kid was on a Friday night. He's in his room cussing out some boys over the Xbox. It's all good. Hell, I ain't heard a thud in a while, so we're good. Jesus. I just heard some cussing going on. Man, them little boys have a mouth on them when they think their mamas aren't listening. One day, this one kid was cussing, and his mom barged in his room and began to yell at him, and all the boys on the Xbox heard it. And then I realized they were all giving him a hard time, so I had to get onto my child. I walk in, and he would throw up his hands like, shh, pull a schmo on me, shh. I'm like, dude. He's like, don't embarrass me. I'm on a live right now. I'm like, you better put that thing on mute for a minute. I got something to say, boy. Here I go. 1, 2, 3. It was always that way. He would just jump and look at me and go the shh, shh. Yes, we got them eyes in the back of our head. Okay, let me grab the other. Now, the next one is that we're going to review is her phone call with Chris and Katie. And it's interesting to say the least. Chris is an interesting character. Where's my video? Hold up. Hold on a second. I could have sworn it was here earlier. I may have it somewhere else by accident. Let me check. Oh, man, where'd it go? That is really weird. Hang on, I know that it uploaded because I checked everything. Oh, it was actually the last thing I did. Let me find it here. Anyway, it's a call between Heather, the private investigator, and Chris and Katie Proudfoot. It's right here. Let me add it here. Okay, that should fix it now. Hold on, I'm having a technical difficulty all of a sudden. This is crazy. All right, try this again. Okay. All right, this is a call that Heather did. And to me, it's like, man, things got touchy, okay? Y'all know, if y'all have followed this case and you've ever seen Chris Proudfoot on a live stream, then you know you got a wild card on your hands. Don't blame him. I mean, sometimes he gets a little emotional, but if you realize what all was happening during the whole thing, with Seth going on these panels constantly and taking Tony with him, and it got super crazy. And they like literally had fights on lives and hashed things out on live streams. It was like, what, this whole family drama. And it was like, this is so sad. Nobody was looking for Sebastian. And it was like, I didn't understand. But anyway, whatever. And it's important that people do share his flyer out. When just to your Facebook page, share it out. Just hashtag missing Sebastian Rogers. What if he's out there? He was 15. If he left by choice, keep that in mind. If he left by choice, then somebody can absolutely get away with hiding him out, changing his appearance, letting his hair grow, doing different things, change his name. No longer has to attend school because who cares? But if someone sees him and goes, my God, that could be Sebastian Rogers. And if you do see what you think is Sebastian Rogers, please do not call a tip line. I know that's what the world tells you to do. Call your local authorities first and tell them what you think you see and who you think it is. Let them come meet you, and they can determine the next steps. They can place eyes on this person now, and they can take it from there. Because if that really is Sebastian, you don't want to wait on a person to answer a tip line, days later maybe? Because by then that person you saw could be very long gone. I always encourage y'all, if y'all think you see a missing child in your area or a missing person, call your local authorities on the spot. Overwhelming, those 1-800 lines with crazy stories. What in the Idaho case we read in document, there was one lady in particular that had a history of calling FBI tip lines with phony stuff. So they're over there trying to sort out the phonies from the reals. And in the meantime, I got eyes on what could possibly be this child. I'm freaking calling the local bubbas. Come on down here, boys. Okay, so let's play this. This is going to be Heather with the Proudfoots. Doesn't he have a birthday coming up? Sebastian? I can't remember, honestly, Butterfly. We keep up with so many birthdays of these victims and missing. I want to say he does, because he was like a winter baby. I remember thinking that. Okay, so let's let this play out.
Half of that is
Let me
theirs.
get back to the beginning.
Property. That is my property. The easement, that's a public easement. I own it. It's mine. I own it. I am here to try to clear you,
I
so
don't need you to clear me.
I don't know why you're being defensive with
They're giving her a hard time because there's some counties have an easement way, right? Chris and Katie, you're telling her they don't have that here. Cletus and Clue said the same thing. In this county, we don't have that here. So I'm going to be believing the people who live there. What do I know? I do not live in Sumner County, Tennessee. I went to Tennessee once. I was not impressed. Not even with the mountains. In fact, they're the reason I left. Closed me in all of a sudden. Got to have flat land. So they're giving her a hard time, but she's like, I'm here to clear you. And Katie says, I don't need you to clear me. And I would have come in a little more hot than that, but yeah. His birthday's December 7th, right after my kiddos. Okay. Right, she's not law enforcement. Who is? I'm just here to clear you. For who? Social media? For Seth? For your own peace of mind? Okay. Okay.
with me.
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
First, can you identify yourself?
I did already. My name's Heather, private investigator.
Well, you're coming to my house and you're...
I am. I'm investigating the disappearance of your stepson. So do you want him found or no? Because
Oh, hell. So do you want him found or no? Ma'am, how dare you speak to me that way? I don't give a shit what anybody says. Don't you dare come at me and say that to me. You better back that ass up. Like, does she think coming in hot like that was going to get her a place at the table? To really sit down and talk to these two? Yes, Happy, this is Chris and Katie on the phone. They're on the phone, a phone call with Heather. And I think toward the end or at some point during this conversation, Chris is going to tell her, turn that phone around and let me see if you're recording this conversation. Yeah, this is during by the time she came into the picture, Heather here, and did this phone call, was at the height of all the BS with Seth and the rumors and all of the things that the mudslinging was happening, like going full battle, right? So yeah, this is Chris and Katie on the phone with Heather, the private investigator that Seth hired, and she's coming in hot. Like so hot, her ass is on fire. And remind you now, she has stepped away from the case for unknown reasons. She couldn't find him after all.
if you do, then why would you have a problem with me coming to talk to you guys?
Well,
Real simple, because we're asking you questions and you're telling us that you can't answer those questions, so why should we answer any...
I absolutely did not trespass.
there's no such thing.
There's
as a public
nothing,
easement.
there is a such thing as a
I
public
own it.
easement.
Not in
It's
this-
not posted.
I own it. I have signs on.
Okay,
all the-
your fence has a sign. I didn't
It's 3
cross it.
foot inside of my
Okay,
property.
take it up with, if you want to report it to law enforcement, do it. Take it up with them. I am trying to help, okay? So if you want somebody to help you, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, well,
So calm down, talk to me like civil human beings.
Calm down and talk to me like civil human beings. Ma'am. Oh, I wouldn't talk to anybody at that point if I was Chris and Katie. Like, just shut up. If you're not coming out here saying, here's a picture of my son, please help me find him, then I really don't need to hear it, right? Like, that's what I need to hear more than anything. Jesus. They did have a right to be defensive, Rachel. You know, people are going to feel how they feel about all three of these people. My feeling is Chris is odd. And there was a late night live he called into, I think, or I don't remember if he came on panel or called home, called into. It was the middle of the night. I happened to wake up and it was on. So I began to listen and I'm laying in bed. And this guy goes on and on and on and on. And it got to a point where it freaked me out so bad. I got up and got out of my bed and like walked outside and sat down. It was like, what the hell am I hearing right now? It was just him being very bizarre. Let's put it that way. And then I've always felt that Katie probably could have come out a little more, talked about her son a little more. But the excuse was, I don't want to, I'm afraid because y'all attack me. Yeah, some people on social media, a very small group, mind you, they're disgusting and they are really attacking you, but that's not going to stop me from speaking to the world. That small group on the internet is not going to stop me from speaking to the world. So those are the odd things about them. And then Seth, overall odd. I understand you wanted to come out here and fight for your son and get on these panels and talk about Sebastian and get his name out there and keep it out there. But it turned into something real messy, real fast, right, with him. And so it's crazy how all this just unfolds and how social media plays a part in it. You know what I mean? And we are examining that in all these different cases now. Yeah, I don't blame her for not talking to other people, like talking to randoms, right? And or sleuths on the internet or whatever you want to call it. I don't blame her. But keeping his name out there in mainstream, you have to, because the majority still watch mainstream at night, right? At the evening, end of the day shit. Or put it all over Facebook. While they're scrolling, they can see the picture, all the things.
I'm trying to help find him. I've been talking to sex offenders in the area.
Now, I do think and know that Katie was doing a lot behind the scenes, right? So I'm not saying she never looked for her son, never pled for her son. Just she didn't come out a lot publicly. And that was the only thing I can say about that.
Law enforcement has done that.
Okay, and I'm going to do it too because I'm working it too. And I have that right, and the person that hired me has that right. Anybody has that right.
He's also blatantly accusing me of murder when I didn't.
I haven't accused you of shit.
I didn't say you did. I said he did.
Okay, well, I'm trying to decide who is on my radar and who is not. I've talked to sex offenders. That is my focus right now. In my mind, you're not a person of interest, but I'm coming here trying to talk to you.
It's not.
So if she's in the area investigating sex offenders, why is she coming in hot at Chris and Katie? I'm just here to talk to you. Well, we're not offenders. That's the guy down the street. And she's trying to see who all needs to be on her radar. As if they can pull the same map of the offenders as you can, ma'am. Those guys are on your radar, right? So, but here you are. Oh, goodness.
I could look at trespass either. Like, that's my
What it
point.
looked like, ma'am.
It's posted
So, let me
all
tell you
4
something.
ways.
I just came from the TBI headquarters in Jackson, Miss.
Honey, I'm going to tell you, as a PI,
He just came from the TBI headquarters, and she's like, honey, let me tell you something. Excuse me, honey. Now, would she have been offended if she'd have been called honey? Honey, let me tell you something. Girl. My ass would have been all like screaming at this lady on the phone. I'd have been sure, come on over. I'll meet you outside. This is the dirty South. Come on. Come on, baby. Drop on by and have a cup of coffee with me. If you can handle it.
I have a lot more leeway with things I can do and people I can talk to. And this isn't my first rodeo. I've worked cases like this before.
She got leeway, and this ain't her first rodeo.
I've gotten information that TBI or law enforcement's not able to get, and I have passed it along, and it has.
She's got information that they hadn't been able to get. Oh, who released the call? Sorry, Happy. Okay, well, shady. This was released, believe it or not, by At Night Creative Intelligence. Does that surprise you? Because it shouldn't, right? Yeah, I rarely speak of those people because I don't I don't know what that train wreck is. I've seen the stuff they put out, but this is where this came from, as well as the other call we've already reviewed. Now you have to wonder who gave it to him. Who had the phone call? Who recorded the phone call? So I'm going to go with Heather probably gave it to that guy, that whatever that guy's name is that does that. What's the name of that place again? At Night. What is it? Michelle After Dark calls them at night unintelligence. I love that lady. She's always got a good nickname, and I love making up nicknames for people, but she beats me to all the good ones. Yes, this was put out by At Night Unintelligence. If y'all do like them, sorry to offend you.
Has helped the case. I mean, that's all I can tell you.
What have you passed along that's helped this case?
I just started working this case. I haven't even got a chance to talk to you or Katie yet.
Well, here's the thing. You're not talking to her by herself. Period.
Okay.
You're not going to talk to my
Okay,
wife.
fine. Set up an appointment with me. Do you want?
That became a big deal too. Katie won't let Chris won't let Katie talk. Katie can only do an interview if Chris is there. Well, have you heard the way Seth talks about her on social media? Have you heard the way the people on social media talk about her? First of all, where's she going to go on social media that ain't coming at her right now to talk? So yeah, I want to meet. I'll be with my wife because I'd expect my husband to be there with me as well. And why people made a big deal about that is beyond me. It's like, that's weird. But let's not use level-headedness, right? Because that's just too easy.
Want to do that? I can come back. I mean, I can respect your time. I'm not trying to be this. Whatever. I mean, I really think everybody just needs to calm down. Emotions are high. People are flinging mud, and it's just getting drama and stupid. And that is a terrible disadvantage to Sebastian.
Right.
Well, damn it. That's the first logical thing she has said. It was terrible, ma'am. It still is. Because just as of within the last 2 weeks, there's been more drama on social media with content creators about the Sebastian Rogers case. Y'all put on them caution vests when you venture out to these YouTube streets. They're dirty.
But let me inform you on something. You're not the one being threatened here.
I think everybody's being threatened. Did you know there was a drive-by shooting last?
People are being threatened. Bullshit.
Okay. All right.
So she brings up people are being threatened. Did you know there was a drive-by shooting? And then he interrupts her to say something else, and she never finishes that statement. Was she saying there was a drive-by the night before related to this and threats? Because Seth's come out to the mainstream media, I have it, and said, we're being threatened. There's somebody who doesn't want me to find my son. That's a bold-ass statement to make on mainstream media. You haven't told the cops that someone doesn't want you to find your son. Jesus.
I mean, I don't understand why you guys are coming at me. I didn't do anything to you.
Okay, well, first off, you came to my house the other day.
Yes. Yesterday.
You walked around my fucking property with a you videotape and took pictures.
Privately owned property back
They
there.
didn't fucking post it all sides of that property.
I mean, the easement between houses is not usually.
I own it.
In that fucking subdivision.
I own half, my neighbors own half, period. That's not public. There are no...
I mean, there's no property lines. There's no way to tell what
It's
is.
marked. I have stakes.
I mean, can you show me? Because I
I can
didn't.
show you all 4 no trespassing signs.
They're on
And
the
if you want,
fence.
you can go on the city and you can look at the property line and you can...
I mean,
see
they're on the
red section
fence.
on it.
I wouldn't jump
I
your
own it.
fence.
I own it.
So she was walking down the side of the house between the 2 homes. And she thinks there's an easement way there that she's got a public right-of-way to. No, ma'am. That's where the fence goes. What the hell? Some PI she is. She'd walk off into the wilderness, never to return. She would get lost thinking there was a property line involved.
Half of that is mine, half of that is theirs. That's why they turned it in and they turned it into the police.
I'm sorry, what? I think that when there's a no trespassing sign on the fence, that means you don't go into the fence. I'm not going to go into the fence.
Negative. Actually, that's wrong.
Okay, well, I'm not sure how I would know that. All right, well, I'm not really... Yeah, I'm just not really sure how anybody would know that easement is yours.
You stepped out of your car the other day and you walked onto the property. When Mike, my neighbor, saw you,
I
and Mike
walked right
across
past your
the
neighbor.
street saw you, turn around. Where they saw you. Now, got you on camera, walking your ass through my property, right next to my fucking driveway. You walked past 3 fucking signs, woman. 3. Don't tell me you didn't see them. They're on the fucking fence. You just set it on this camera.
So she gets out of her car, walks onto the property, bypasses all the no trespassing signs, and walks around the property, right down the side of the driveway. People can't understand why he's yelling at her. You're not, if you're not here to offer help for legitimately, you're there for one reason, and they know it. Seth hired you at a time he was publicly accusing them. Okay, you got to keep that in mind. These girls were hired, or Heather here, at the height of when Seth Rogers was publicly blaming the Proudfoots. And so many people believe Seth Rogers for some unknown reason. Other than for clicks and views, we got to cause a fight.
And I got news for you. Because you've done that, you have violated trespassing.
I was actually trying to stay on the outside of your property. Okay, well, I don't know how I would know that that's not.
Add the detectives into this so that they can see her and find out what she.
I just left the sheriff's department. I've talked to Tim Bailey. I've talked to Sheriff Weatherford. I've been talking to all of them. So anyway.
Okay. Well, first off.
But why is this the focus instead of finding Sebastian? It's a waste of time right now. We're arguing over a property line, like when there is a missing child.
We're arguing over a fucking safe.
I'm not showing up here to do anything to you except for find your son.
No.
I'm not a threat to you.
All you had to do was pick up the fucking phone and call us.
That's not how I operate. I talk to people in person.
That's not how I operate. I don't pick up the phone and call people. I just show up at your door. Hawkeyes, go have a fabulous dinner. Thanks for coming by, love. Thank you so much. Yeah, it just takes away from finding Sebastian, and that is the saddest part of this whole case. It got that way so fast. It spun out of control to the point I backed away. Well, there was nothing to report on, right, in this case, because there was no new information coming out about, or any indication of what that one possible sighting in North Carolina finally turned out that law enforcement came out and said that was not Sebastian. So after that, there was nothing. So why cover this case unless I'm covering the drama of the people who covered the case? And there's no fun in that. It's a big ass mess there.
That's what I do.
You're shit at your job.
No, that's not shit at your job. PIs don't call people. They show up at their houses.
Well, I got news for you.
Okay.
Girlfriend, people in the South like me who are introverts who don't really care about what's happening outside her own front door, they don't even answer the door. You knock all day, there's nobody home. I don't know you. I don't recognize you. There's nobody home. Go away. End of story.
Are you going to set up an appointment with me, or do you just want to keep yelling at me? This is really ridiculous. Like, this is the drama that's a disadvantage to Sebastian. He's not going to be found this way.
Answer my question. What the hell are you going to do to help find our son?
I am knocking on doors, talking to sex offenders.
FBI, Secret Service, TBI.
I am communicating with the I just talked to Tim Bailey, asked him if they talked to the sex offender. They have not talked to the sex offender. He said, I'm free to go do so, which is what I'm doing.
I have a heart that she keeps saying, when she was talking to Weatherford, she asked about a specific offender, and he says, well, I don't know. All right, fine. He's not a hands-on investigator in the case. I get it. Maybe he don't know. And now she's over here saying, I just talked to so-and-so, and they didn't talk to. Are you telling us, ma'am, that they didn't do a knock on the doors of all the offenders in that area? Because there's several more real close by. I can tell you where they live. I can literally pull it up in moments and show you the map. But to think that the cops aren't as bright as I am, well, some days that's debatable depending on what state and county we're messing with. But in general, I'm going to give law enforcement the benefit of the doubt that they're decent investigators and they can think of the simple things like checking the offenders and watching a few of them, because they're not stupid. An offender can easily hide them in that house. You still need probable cause to get into that house. And if you got a willing participant who wants to be missing, How long do they got to hide out? So that's thinking the theory that he left on his own with someone like a predator kind of took away local offenders for me, which goes back to meeting somebody online, right? That's just my thought process. Because if I was in that area and I was a cop, kind of like that cop over there at Gilgo Beach who kept going back to the crime scene or to the scene where Shannon Gilbert 911 call was placed and she disappeared. He kept going back out there with his canine. And then he stumbled upon Gilgo Beach dumping grounds because he kept going back out there on his own accord, mind you. I'm going to watch certain offenders get off work early or late, whatever. I can't sleep. I'm going to roll by over here and check on this old boy for a moment. Let me do a little stakeout. And when he moves, he's supposed to put into the offender alert system that they're moving. So there's a way to track those dudes, right? So it kind of took them off the table for me if I'm going with the theory he took off with somebody he met online.
Okay.
Okay, well, first off, when you come on somebody's property, you're supposed to announce yourself because we have it posted, no trespass. It doesn't matter what your fucking job title is. Once it's I try to explain to you. There's no property lines in that entire subdivision.
No.
There's no community. No, nothing. Nothing. So where you were walking yesterday on camera, you're on my property.
But I really wish that you would lighten up a little bit because we are focusing on the wrong thing when we should be focusing on finding Sebastian.
If you want me to lighten up,
I do.
You want me to lighten up?
Yes, sir.
It's real simple.
I will not walk on your property again. I apologize for walking down the easement, what looked like an easement.
You told my neighbor you were hired by the family, and I am the family. So
Exactly.
if I didn't
So
hire
that
you,
tells me right there that you're hired by the Rogers family.
But I am not hired to implicate or accuse you. And
I'm not asking you
okay,
to implicate.
I am trying to find him. So I want to talk to you too.
You'll come find me.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm here trying to find you.
I'm not hard to find.
Okay, when do you want it? Let's set this up. When do you want to meet?
Work.
Whenever. We're at Memphis. I'll be in Jackson tomorrow, so I can meet you. I can I can come all the way to Memphis if that's what you require, or you can meet me somewhere in between.
Well, I would prefer you come see me because I work nights. So 9 to 1 when you guys are up, I'm actually sleeping.
Okay, so, but it's not going to be you and Katie, it's just going to be you?
It would be just me because unless Katie's coming down to see me, well, she can't. We have other things that have to happen.
Now, Chris was working down in Memphis. That is why they're talking about going down there. Because Chris would go down there, and then after all this happened, and he would go back to work or whatever. He came home and everything. So when he did go back to work, then Katie was at home alone, and the house was stalked by social media true crime people. Like literally, they were everywhere. She was getting threats herself. She ended up going to where Chris was and to go where her husband was at, get away from that house. People gave her a hard time. What if Sebastian comes home? That's what was said. Now, me, don't know. Because I think law enforcement would have found him and called me to say, we got your son. What's the chances of him just walking back through the door? Could have happened if someone got scared and just dropped him off. Like, here, go back home, dude. This is too much. Who knows until you're in that moment. Sometimes we can say, well, I would have done this and that. And sometimes we do know exactly what we would do in a moment. And sometimes we may not quite know, because there's been things that's happened that once it happened and I did whatever I did, I'm like, well, how would I have thought about that before that ever happened? Like, I know what I would do in a situation. Sometimes we don't. And sometimes we don't react the way we normally would. It's just weird. The whole thing, this whole case got so crazy so fast. Yeah, so that's why they were talking about Memphis going. And remember earlier in the other audio we heard when the former sheriff mentioned the tip about the stepdad taking him back to Memphis and to work. That's why.
At the house, it wouldn't be together. The only time we're going to be together might be Sunday, Monday. That's when we might actually be back together again.
Okay, well,
I'm working.
I mean, I'd rather talk to I'd rather talk to, I'd rather do it both at the same time. And you already said you don't want me talking to your wife without you present. So
Right.
that would
And
mean,
and you can ask the cops that. They don't show up and talk to her without somebody telling us both. That's
Okay.
just the way this works. That's safety in numbers. I don't trust. Don't take it the wrong way. I don't know.
well, and I mean, we wouldn't know each other. I mean, we have no reason to know each other prior to this. But
But it's not hard to make a phone call and talk to somebody first. Blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
That's fine.
However, my history with cases like this is that, you know, especially with you guys are already defensive.
Right, I understand that. Not everybody in this world is like that. Not everybody is like that. I'm not. I'll be honest, I'm level-headed, I'm very brash, I'm blunt to the point. I've already told the cops this. I don't give a flying fuck what happens to him or what happens to that fucking family.
Yeah.
They did what they did.
Yeah. I would like, what would be really great in a perfect world would be if I could calm that down a little bit, because right now, but it's not this isn't helping.
Well, that would have been helpful, ma'am. But you didn't do that. You didn't calm down anything. You took what you found out straight to social media. That was insane. I guess that was her team of sleuths. Her team of investigators with social media. Here's what I found out, everyone. I'll run over to Web Sleuths and hop on panel. Well, that's a popular place to go, isn't it? When you got the goods. Oh, nefariously on top of that. Nefarious goods had all around, brought to you by the Web Sleuths of it all. Oh, damn it, man.
Sebastian. You know,
It didn't help Sebastian when he aired his trauma. It didn't help Sebastian when he accused his mother of murder. It didn't help Sebastian when he made almost $50,000 on my son going missing.
who did?
Seth.
Preach it, ma'am. $50,000. Accusing his mother of murder. Got a hurt shoulder. I can't go searching today. But I can get prescribed muscle relaxers and tell y'all all about it. Fall asleep on live streams. Oh, wait. I'm going to go on Nancy Grace. She's going to give me one of those lie detector tests. And I'm going to fall asleep during that lie detector's test. That's what Seth Rogers was doing. Not looking for his son, but doing all that. Fell asleep during a lie detector's test. I have never heard of anybody falling asleep during a lie detector's test. So if y'all ever hear me joke around and refer to the big Nancy Grace lie detector test, it's because of Seth Rogers. Oh, goodness. Yeah, follow the money, Riley Rue. People were giving so many super chats when he ended up doing his own channel. I think streamers were like taking the money they received and like giving it to him. Some of them were saying, and then he ended up doing his own channel and brought in his representative TikTok Tony. And so when he started going live, yeah, they were getting a lot of money. I never tracked that GoFundMe stuff. I try to avoid them GoFundMes at all costs. Even legit ones you won't find me promoting here and dropping their links because I don't get involved in the money, right? It's the root of all evil. Shit.
Don't know. I didn't know about that. I don't know anything about that.
Every single day he goes on. Internet sleuth.
Let me lay this out for you, okay? Take to the
But
investigation.
him, I tried to work with him.
We were all in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Katie, Seth, and 2 other witnesses in law enforcement. We're in the house.
Yeah.
I brought up what else can we do to help with this situation.
Right. Okay.
And when I said, hey, do we need to raise money? Do we need to get some investigators? What do we need? Horses, whatever. We'll do whatever.
Yeah.
They said don't do anything with money because it makes the family look bad and it could turn ugly. Okay, cool. All of us standing in that living room in my house made an agreement that said we were not going to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so
I said, hold on. Wait, stop. Turn your phone around. Not you. Hers. I want to see the face of her phone.
Oh, that she's
you want to see the face of my phone?
Yes.
Let me unlock it.
Recording this conversation.
Smart man. Folks trying to record you.
Don't take it the wrong way, but I told you, I don't trust people right now. And people are trying to use shit and however they can. But that conversation in that living room was an agreed upon deal not to do anything with a GoFundMe page and collect money and benefit off of this. And sure as shit, what happened? The very next fucking day, there's a GoFundMe fucking page that's posted.
Okay. So, according to Chris Proudfoot, they were advised by law enforcement not to start a GoFundMe to try to raise funds, not even for search reasons, because it reflects bad on families. Social media has a field day with stuff like that. But Seth, and they agreed, he says, like a butterfly is saying there, yeah, he started that GoFundMe that they didn't all agree on. So if they agreed to, if that happened, and they did agree not to do that, and the next day he goes off and he does it? What in the world? And how much of that money that was raised was actually used for any kind of where's the receipts on what they actually use that money for? Yeah. She was recording Butterfly, and Chris, he called that. You can't be too careful these days. One person tried to record me twice.
So, I'm sorry.
So I didn't understand how he knew that Sebastian wouldn't be found and would need money when my son hadn't been missing 72 hours, and yet he knew he was going to need money to pay his bills that far in advance.
Yeah, but we're giving Seth money for rent, for the bills. He was out of work. He was searching for his son. And then it was time to go back to work. And then he had the shoulder. He actually had the same surgery I had. And I'm going to tell you what, I regretted not having that surgery sooner. And I had it like 9 years ago now. And I felt amazing afterwards. Recovery was not bad. It was not even a big thing. But we got old Seth over there every time he went on a panel, just rotating that shoulder and rubbing it and doing all that. When my shoulder hurts like that, I cannot be here at this desk on the live. My head is not even with what we're doing. I'm focused on that pain, right? I got to go and fix it, which means I got to go do some self-massaging, do the ice, do the heat, whatever it takes. Seth could have learned a lot, but no. I'm going to get over here and cry that I can't do anything. It's so crazy. So if he saw her phone, does he know she was recording the rest of the convo? I guess so. I mean, Chris Proudfoot's the kind of guy, he'll own what he says. Like, go ahead, you already recorded it, fine. If it comes out one day, he's probably already said a lot of this a million times, right? He doesn't really care. But yeah, he wanted to see the front.
That speaks volumes to me. The fact that he can't be bothered to help look for his son in the beginning. The fact that he literally released my son's sensitive trauma issues and blatantly lied about all of the details surrounding it, including the age of the person who did it to him.
Oh, including, like, I don't even like to speak about what Seth said, but he said what he said. And Katie just clarified just one little piece of that. The age of the person involved. It was another kid, but so I don't know. I'm not clear on the age of the child yet. But Seth did come out and tell anybody who was listening very sensitive information about his son. That I don't think his son would have appreciated his dad telling other people, strangers. Even if I'm missing, do you got to go there? Right? So Katie had every right to feel the way she was feeling about Seth. He literally come out and put their whole divorce out there. Like, dude, you've been divorced a long time. It's like, what are you doing? It was just all this shade against her. And I don't know. I guess, did he have a reason to feel that way? I don't know. Was it all anger fueled, father? My child's missing and I'm a wreck. I don't know, but he really took it to extremes.
The fact that he has turned my son missing into some dramatized bullshit for the internet.
Oh,
Yeah, just so he can profit. And it's sad. It is truly sickening. Honestly. It's sickening if he profited off of this.
I don't need to be on television hanging clippers. I don't need to brag that I have done what I have done to help find my son.
Well, I understand how you guys feel about everything.
So you don't push the information to Detective Carter?
I haven't talked to Carter yet. Carter has not gotten back with me. So I had to...
Down here with me.
Okay, well, that's good to know, but...
She hasn't spoke to Carter yet, the man in charge, and Chris says, oh, yeah, he's down here with me. Oh, well, that's good to know, she says. Jealous much? What was that supposed to mean? Well, that's good to know. That was kind of, well, that's just the way I think. I'm like, what? See, I'm a better body language and word analysis person than the average guy on the YouTubes. Y'all pick up on the wrong stuff, man. You picking up on stuff everybody does. Jesus.
And why they didn't answer.
Yeah.
I know that.
But, so yeah. But I...
Don't take this the wrong way, but why is a PI going on doing internet sleuth interviews?
You know, he contacted me before I was even hired to work the case.
It was just,
but yeah,
no
but
offense, I'm just asking.
but no, I mean, I'm not a sleuth. I'm actually a PI.
I didn't call you a sleuth.
Yeah. Oh, the sleuth podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, they asked me for my thoughts on the Sebastian Rogers case, and
So
who is it?
aware of all of that, and Seth is not doing anything that he hasn't already done to me in the past.
Like, I'm not interested in the drama. I'm not interested in the rumors. I'm going to base my who I think needs to be on the radar based on my interviews, my investigation, not what.
Well, she's not going to go by rumors as to who gets on her radar. So are you there investigating rumors, ma'am? Because you're supposed to be talking to SA offenders or child predator offenders in the area. But here you are.
Anybody else says.
So I have a question. You conduct your portion, do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know the Rogers family has hired you.
Okay.
It is very evident.
Okay.
Because we didn't hire.
They announced it publicly. It's not a secret. I know, but we already know.
There is another PI too, by the way.
I know. There's at least like 3 or 4 of them.
Oh yeah, I will tell you this. You can tell all the PIs, because I know you won't talk.
Yeah, we do.
Because we're sick and tired of being stalked and people coming on our properties. Because that's not just my property. It's half theirs. We've worked
You know,
with
we're cool about that. Like,
probably 24 different, I'm the best one, I'm going to crack the case people already. And every last one of them that have talked to us, we have said, you are welcome to come and start from square one. You're not going to find anything that,
Well, I
250 professionals didn't.
Amy, you and the siblings are going to be like, remember that one time? Bless your heart. Hey, you know what? Stuff happens, right? Mom was at work when that happened, and y'all were watching him. What was y'all doing? Them little ones will get away in a quickness if you're not looking, won't it? Right? I won't think none of us would have told her. Or Mama would have killed us, right? You let my baby do what? Like, we're taking this to the grave, guys. We will call you a liar if you be the snitch. I had a couple of siblings, so that's how it rolled. Exactly what radar? She's not law enforcement, right?
But you're welcome to try, because at this point,
I haven't been here since day one when all this went down.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. People can say, well, I understand how you feel when nobody knows how we feel.
Yeah.
Because unless you've lost a child and you've gone through this crap,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know. Like, I don't tell people, you don't know shit.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I will tell you.
She's like, okay. Like, she's so condescending. She's just saying what she needs to say in the moment. Apparently, she does have no empathy for the victims that she's looking for, or what their parents feel when they're missing. She's like, okay. Moving on. Taking it to the grave, Amy. That's right. Now, I got one sister who did confess things to my mom once we were well into adulthood. And I'm standing there laughing while she's doing it, going, I can't believe this fool's doing this right now. But my mother surprised me. I was shocked. Instead of reacting the way she would have when my sister actually did this stuff, she has laid there and looked at her because she was laying on the bed. We were in her room talking to her. She just looked at her and kind of shook her head like she was not surprised. Not surprised. Yeah, there's some things you just don't want to say out loud. That's right. Get it between the siblings. Hey, siblings are great like that. You know what I mean? There's that parent relationship and that sibling one. It hits different.
Just in general.
I will tell you that I have only been hired on this case for 2 days.
I will
Oh,
forewarn
2
you.
days.
So anything that you get, do you share back to the family?
Do I share what? Share back to the family. Is that what you said?
Anything. Yeah, if you anything that you find or you get, share.
It's going to depend if it comes from law enforcement, which is what I told Weatherford. If it's something they share with me that they tell me, because I understand that there are some things that don't need to be in the public, and if it's
My question.
She understands there's some things that don't need to be in the public, yet she brought a lot to the public. Wow. Riley says, you think that she talks to them to make them feel intimidated? Yeah, I think she thinks she's going to come off that way, but did she know Chris Proudfoot yet? Right? If you come at me trying to intimidate me, coming in hot like this, my child is missing, social media and the other parent is running amok, causing all these issues that don't even make sense at the moment, and you call me on the phone and I get this, we are about to have a big problem. And then the fact that she's recording it, trying to put, and I go off on her and lose my shit, then it's all over social media within a few hours. That's the kind of shit PIs are doing out there. No, thank you. That's not trying to find a child at all. And you know what? The saddest part about all of this drama that got into this case, while everybody was watching all of that and consuming it, and they were just field day and all that. If someone did take Sebastian and they're gauging social media and local media to see what's being said, and they see all that, they're sitting back, sitting pretty, because there's no eyes on them whatsoever, because they're all focused on this madness, and the dad took him and the mama did it, trying to figure out which one really did it and which side. Green team, what the fuck does that even mean? Which team is right or wrong, and who's going to solve it in a minute? That was sad. It's incredibly sad. It really is. Thank you, Forrest.
Are you going to give them information back? Yes or no? I mean, it's real simple.
depending on what it is. If it's something I can share with them, yes, I will share it with them.
I will say this: I wish you the best of luck. I hope you find some. I hope you get some. Truly. I truly do. I hope you can find, I don't give a shit what it is, piece of evidence or something that will move something in one direction.
Right.
I will tell you this. There is no chance Seth Rogers or the Roger family is going to reach out and contact us, and there's going to be reciprocating phone calls, because it ain't happening right now.
There doesn't need to be phone calls between you guys.
The only way that's going to happen, he ain't going to do it. He ain't going to do it. Yeah, it's real simple. So, and I mean, unfortunately, he's made his bed, he's going to lie. You know? I mean, it is what it is.
I tried, 4 different times to get him to interview with me.
It seems like y'all were somewhat cordial in the beginning.
She tried 4 different times to get him to interview with her? Really? Why would Seth not do that? I wonder when that was, before he hit social media wide open with all his wretched ass theories that he couldn't back up. Because I'm telling you what, if any of y'all that are in a situation where you're divorced or had a significant other and you try to co-parent with that person. Now, I didn't have too many issues, but I know people who have had tons of issues, and we see it every day. Man, this, why would he not go and do that? But then he chooses to come out to social media. Did he not do it because he was already thinking in his mind, well, they did it? And why would he think that automatically? Is he just that kind of thinker? All conspiracy theorist right out the gate? It appeared after time that what was evident was that man was extremely jealous. That was my own decision making, not some streamers on the streets battling out of their own panels, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at a time. It was not hard to make my own judgment calls, right, based on what I'm seeing. Yeah, he wouldn't interview with her, but hired her. No. Katie says, Sebastian's mom says, I tried to get him to interview with me 4 times. I thought that's what she said. Like having Seth go on and talk with her or plead for, do interviews about Sebastian.
We were.
He has been very cordial. I got proof of shit that where he's running his mouth that he didn't talk to me and all this. I got phone records where I have had hour-long conversations.
When he said that Hayden spoke to him, that we refused to speak to him for 2 weeks, he was on the phone with him for long periods of time, damn near every day at that point.
Did I misunderstand it, guys, about who they were talking about? Because, I might. Let's see. Yeah, you were a stepmom, Amy. I had a stepdad, right? But I had an amazing dad and an amazing bonus dad at the same time. But as an adult myself who is, divorced or whatever, and I had a kid, I made a conscious decision to stay single because people my age all had kids mostly and an ex, and oh boy, I just didn't know if I was ready for all that challenging stuff. I'm not going to bring baggage to the table, and I don't really want nobody else to. Sometimes it can't be helped, but if I got an irritated ex always trying to stir the pot, or kids that, I just, that seemed to be a lot to me. So hats off to all the bonus parents and families out there, because it's not easy. It really isn't. My stepdad walked into a house with 4 kids, but he did a good job.
Welcome
They
to
welcomed in the house. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your name again?
This is what they told us about you too.
Well, everybody and I'm being honest, everybody on fucking Facebook, all this YouTube, all this TikTok, all this bullshit, they could take those fucking shows and stick them so far up their asses, and I hope they choke off.
Yeah.
Oh, he said it. All them TikToks and all them videos. Man, there were a many. They're probably well into the thousands and thousands. My contributions are in there as well. All throwing shade at the shady players. Remember, this is about Sebastian, damn it. Y'all stop. Oh.
There ain't a fucking one of them out there that have sit here and run us through the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire.
Well, we're so unhinged that they found some lady that has the same name as me that murdered her child, I guess, in the early 2000s, and they're trying to say that that's me.
That's the problem with sleuths that don't have access to actual databases, is that a lot of these Truthfinder and all those the public access ones, there's mixed information.
So let me ask you this. You're going after sex offenders, obviously.
Right. That's
You have the access to scan the dark web for trafficking?
Yeah. I can get that done. Not me personally, but I know somebody, yeah.
Do it.
Okay.
Please. I mean, I don't, you're not more.
She said, do it. Please. So when you have a loved one go missing, knowing that that's a thing, isn't that going to be one of the avenues you need to explore? I know it is locally for Tiffany. In her case, that avenue has been well explored. There's a criteria 9 times out of 10 for trafficking women, but this is a child. There's purposes for doing that as well. Do we have predators online who are traffickers looking for their next victim, but also their next commodity? Hell yeah. Predators operate for all types of reasons. And even if this one guy may not be into little kids himself, he don't mind selling kids to people who are. That wealthy man with the digs in the basement that no one knows about. Ooh, yeah, that's happened before. Bought and paid for his little fixation.
For me, but
Yeah, no, but that's, I mean, is that how you feel? That's what you think is going on?
everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking.
Yeah.
And they just found 11 missing kids, and
Right.
everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it and someone took him and it's trafficking, where would they go?
Right.
Because if he were within 5 miles of this house, there's no chance that he wouldn't have been found.
So Katie's calling out, looking at the sex offenders because they've done it. Now move on to this trafficking theory that could have happened, right? I'm sure that the FBI and TBI, you're gonna have the only thing we had to go on, and I think they had to go on, was digital footprints. And was there anything available that they could find once they did the downloads of whatever they had from his devices?
None. Because I know every single group.
And they should have searched the father's house apartment right along with Katie's, which I think they did. I'd have to go back and review if that's really true, but I think they may have talked to Seth and got permission to take. They didn't take devices from Seth's house right away, I don't think. That's based on what Seth has said, right? So there you go. I can't put a ton of stock into that. I don't know what they obtained from Sebastian's home or what they obtained from the apartment of his father for them to examine, because they haven't come out and told us. Yeah, we agree, Amy. The probability, in my theory, it has been that he walked out of that house that night and he had to go right down beside the house. Otherwise, some other cameras would have seen him. And then from where, we don't know. But if he did go out of the house on his own accord to go meet someone, he met him online.
Agency, technology.
Or communicated with this person online. Now, think about that. If it was a local person that had access to him and they communicated online, they could find that out too. Is that person still in the area? That would be so easy to figure out. So then you go back to online predator, right?
Yeah.
Everything that was brought in, there's no chance he was within 5 miles of this house.
Okay.
It was done over and over and over, and they used heat sinking, they used
Yeah.
FLIR, they used vision, they used night. I mean, they did. They did. If you can name it, they did it, and they did it in multiple ways. I don't think he's that close to home, unless he's in a basement. I was begging them to search farther.
Okay.
All the thermal imaging, all the things they did in that 5-mile radius. And she was begging them to search further. Down into basements and even expand further out than 5 miles. What if this boy did trek out on foot? But then I go back to he's barefoot. If he planned to walk out of that house on his own accord and walk away, would he have taken his phone and his shoes and like his backpack with some snacks? And think like a kid. You're 15, you're about to run away. What are you going to take? But nothing was taken except for his little flashlight, according to Katie. Now, was he really barefooted or not? Was it my kids? I'm not a big shoe person. I don't have tons of pairs of shoes. The kids never. I couldn't stand. I had 3 kids. I don't need tons of pairs of shoes everywhere. Whatever. But Katie said that all the shoes were accounted for. I would be able to account for all the shoes in my home as well. Now, people are like, well, was there a pair he just loved and didn't want to throw away, and he got them back out of the garbage once Katie threw them out and he hid them? Oh, damn. Okay, well, possibly, but it appears he walked out of the house barefooted with nothing more than his little flashlight. Would a predator say, don't bring that phone, they can track us? Leave it there. Some people, Amy says, I'm barefoot right now. I am, because I'm sitting at my desk, but if I was up walking around, slippers would be on. If I walk out that door, I'm going to have some shoes on my feet of some kind. But my sister was the opposite. Barefoot all day, you know what I mean? Some people are just cannot stand shoes. They want to go barefooted. So I thought about that as well, right? Some people just, that's how they are. So was it normal for him to walk out of the house barefooted? You know what I mean? It was very possible.
This area has been canvassed.
What if he did? So Butterfly has a very good point there. Unless he wasn't planning to run away, but was going to meet someone. So what if he was going to meet someone? For whatever reason, we don't know. We'll get to that eventually in our theory, because you got to think your whole theory's out. But there is a possibility that he went to meet someone to get something, though. Then I got to wonder, why was he meeting somebody just to meet them? Who knows? But what if they had ulterior motives to get him out there to meet them, right? He thought he was going for a different reason, but they had other reasons. So why would he take his phone and his shoes and all the things? He's coming right back. That's why I wondered, did he follow a cat? Didn't make any sense to walk out barefooted and no phone unless you were planning to go back, right? That's what I think. But he's a 15-year-old boy feeling some kind of way, so I don't know. That's a good thought.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a mom too, baby. I get it. I do. I have a 15-year-old son as well. You're doing a good job of keeping yourself together, which some people interpret badly.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Every one of them spineless cowards ain't got the fucking balls to come over, call, ain't got nothing. All they got is the keyboard to put out there.
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit stories.
I wasn't trying to be hateful. It's just, there's so many people.
So do you plan on releasing any of the footage and pictures that you took of the house?
No. That's for me. That's for my file.
There's not an inch of my house inside or out that hasn't been publicly posted to say you can find it. It's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, the picture.
Butterfly, I forgot about that. Who said that at first? Was it Katie or Seth? That there was the story that he didn't like being barefoot because he stepped in an ant pile when he was young and he got bit, so he didn't like to go barefoot. But so on the regular, he probably would go and wear shoes. But if he thought he was coming right back in, right? If he didn't plan to permanently leave, would he have slipped shoes on? Such a mystery on the damn shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Regardless, you can find the pictures of every angle.
Yeah.
On Sil.
I'm sure.
Well, I will say this much. Before you make that trip to Memphis, I need to make sure, one, I'll be able to have the time to actually sit down and talk, because we have concrete floors to check below, and those hours are longer than normal. So I don't want to sit there and waste your time and your energy or your gas and stuff coming down here if I can't actually be to sit down.
Those concrete pours, man. Today I accidentally stumbled on. I don't even know how it happened. I ran across a YouTube video and I didn't even realize this was. This is how much I don't pay attention. So I didn't even realize it was happening. But apparently they've been tore down a big old part of the White House and they're rebuilding. I was like, what in the world is going on here? The country is shut down. People don't got no food. People ain't getting paid. But we're building what at the White House? Head scratcher. But the concrete pours. When that's occurring for these large builds, you got to keep it moving. It's a step, it's a process. You got to keep going and keep going and keep going, because that concrete has to dry and set a certain way. So Chris is trying to explain to her, I'm at work. It's going to be long hours. I wanted to be able to devote enough time to have a conversation with you. That's what he's sitting here stressing to her.
Hey, let me get your guys' phone numbers, and can I just call you when I'm in Jackson tomorrow?
Okay, so that was the end of it, where it cuts off, where she asks their numbers and that she can call when she call tomorrow. Hang on, let me see. They did say all of his shoes were accounted for, but kids hide things. Well, that's the thing. I remember people saying that he may have hidden a pair of shoes, possibly. Who knows? Yeah, look, Amy, they all spend the tax dollars. It's not about who's in the White House for me. I was just a little shocked that it was undergoing such extensive renovations at a delicate time in our economy. That just found that weird. I don't care who's actually sitting in that office at the time. I don't pay attention. I don't care. No offense, but yeah, just the concrete pour was what they were talking. It was like the actual construction of the building that I was watching this video about, and it was about the concrete pours. So I watch weird shit, but that just happened to crawl across my feed today. Yeah, I wouldn't give her my number, but she got the number somehow, or maybe she left it at the door when she was lurking around the property, and they ended up calling her. So I don't know who initiated that call. That we don't know. Now, we do have the 911 call, and we've got some audio dispatch call that's also out there. We know that Chris has come out and spoken, like Narch Divers. He's come out and spoke on different panels and talked about the scent dogs that were there, because a lot of do was made about those dogs, especially when another person inserted herself into the case and called herself a canine handler. She had all the answers, because on the audio, we do hear when they're tracking a scent. There was a couple of dogs used, and there was another scent picked up, but it didn't go far. How old was that scent, right? Was that from yesterday, the day before, where he just walked a piece down the road after a ball and came back or something? That kind of thing. This one dog, Max, picked up a scent and just took off toward the retention pond. And let me pull up a map. Oh, can I remember their address? I wonder if it's saved. Oh, I know what street. But when the dog tracked through the neighborhood, he went to the back of the neighborhood to the retention pond. There was a construction site back there. Oh my God, it's still in my maps history. Damn it, man, there's the house. How come I know other people's neighborhoods all too well? It's a little weird. But hey, that's what we do. All right, let me pull up the map here for you guys. Actually, we don't want to see that. Hold on. I wonder how much it's changed. I haven't looked since they did the construction back there. You can still see the pond. Okay, on this image. Let me bring it up. Okay. Long Hollow Pike is like the main road there. And you turn into the neighborhood here on Kellen Lane, and you come here to Stafford and you go left, and the house, of course, sits here. There's the house. Now, Max, the dog, tracked right outside the front door. You go straight to the right or to the left rather, and then turn down the left and go all the way back behind the house. You come out on Kellen Road. You do not have to go up to the front of the neighborhood. Do you know what I mean? You just come here and then you go down Kellen. And then it would come back into here. All this is new, right? This is a whole new neighborhood. Here's retention pond and the pond. Let me see if I can get a different view for you, if it'll work. If I can get this to navigate. So let me make this bigger so I can see. Welcome in. Welcome in, Abraham. Good to see you. All right, so we're looking at a map of the area where Sebastian Rogers lived. And we just heard the 2 audio calls from the private investigator. So I wondered, so if he takes garbage out, right, and they see him, and we just heard the sheriff confirm, they see him. They see them come home. They see him come out and take the garbage out, 6 something p.m., and they don't see him anymore. So it tells me there's a camera at one of these houses here, right, that sees all that. So why didn't a camera see him come out that front door and leave? If you come out and you go straight down beside the house, you can go all the way to the back. That might stop these cameras from seeing you. There's a house that's right there. Chances are that's the house that can see him taking that garbage out and arriving home with his mom and parking in the driveway. And here's where Heather was nosing around down by the driveway. Even this, if you come out the door and you go straight this way and back out, you're onto that road, right? So let's go back on that road. So you're coming down through their street. It curves back around into Kellen. Now over here is where a 3 a.m. car was allegedly on camera. You enter from this way to the neighborhood. There's a way for a car to be back by where we're going to go in just a minute and never have to come into this neighborhood. So now you're on Kellen and you're going to go down the road. Remember, their house is just beyond these houses here, right? On the next street over. I have not been down this map in a long time. Old neighbor Bobby lives up here somewhere on the right, possibly. Everybody's got one of those neighbors, and she be the one. Okay. So it looks like it's different back here now. 2020 Google image. Used to be able to get all the way back to the pond area. Okay, dead ends back here now. Okay. So the pond would have been back here on this road going that way, beyond those trees right there, okay? So now if you go and look beyond all of this back here, there's a cemetery that sits back here, and there's a little road back there that takes you toward that cemetery. And let me... Wow, it just took me straight to it. My maps remember where I've been. They's like, we know where you troll, ma'am. Hold up, we got you. All right, Ward Lane. Ward Lane is a tiny little road in Hendersonville, Tennessee. It runs back to the highway. I feel like I need to turn around, though, and go the original way. The school, there's a school down here on the right-hand side, and that's really the only thing back there besides these properties, these sprawling properties, right? There's always a lot of land with these homes back there in the country. So look how small this little road is, guys, and it's so unassuming. And there's like nothing, right? There's a few houses, and they're set far back off the road. Do they have cameras And what would they be able to capture way out here on the road? Just an image as it moves by. But what else would it know, right? Or see? There's a lot of wooded area. That dead ends there, and that dead ends there. So I think I went down the wrong road. There's a side road. So you get the drift, though. We'll go back toward the cemetery now. But it's just so remote back here. And you're not going to know this road is back here and where it leads to if you didn't know the area or jump on a map and map out your selected area and surveil. Right? I mean, I knew to come to the map, look around. And that's scary. It's telling your kids don't put out where we live, right? On the internet. Don't accidentally tell your friend where you live because, boom, that's all they need. And they're stalking a map to see if your house is a perfect hit. That's insane. So if you're driving down this little road, you can tell there's not a lot going on as far as houses that sit close to the road with tons of cameras. There's not a lot of traffic back here. And late at night, middle of the night, there's certainly not going to be a lot going on back here. But it would also make it more noticeable when something does. Because people that live back here, they're going to absolutely know when a strange vehicle's lurking or a stranger walking down the road if they're awake to see it. See, we got cows out here. You know. And when you live in a rural type area or anywhere around, there's so many, it's like, oh, I went down the wrong way again. This is the damn highway. Okay. So down that road, down the highway, there's a red light. You take a right, that leads you back towards Sebastian's neighborhood. So a vehicle comes down this highway and turns onto Ward, right? And let me see if let me do it this way. Look, I'm not very good at this map thing tonight. No, that's not what I want. Okay. So I think they took away the way to get to the cemetery. That's what it is, a dead end. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the other angle just to show you what it would look like. Let me get this one up here. Oops. Oh, goodness, I just took the whole thing down. Hang on. It's delayed. Y'all are seeing different than what I'm seeing. Oh. Let me pull it back up and I'll get to the right location this time. Of what I want to show you, basically. There was the audio, the police dispatch, Butterfly, you're right. There was yes, they apparently did clear them. There was a guy and a girl, a boy and a girl walking late that night, one wearing a backpack. We'll listen to the audio in just a second. Let me pull this up to show you guys what I'm talking about so y'all won't think, what the hell's crazy lady talking about? Okay. Let me get the screen up and show it from this way. Now, so you go back to, this is the Long Hollow Pike, turns into the neighborhood. Go back here to the red light. It's called Shackle Island. You turn and you come down to Ward Lane. Ward Lane comes back, it curves all around, does the things. It ends up at a dead end back here. There's a cemetery, like I was saying, back here, and you can actually park in there, and you could absolutely walk to where that construction site used to sit, right here in the back of the neighborhood. where I took you guys earlier. So, yeah, it could have been easy for somebody to sneak in back there, right? Which would avoid being caught on cameras coming and going from the neighborhood or coming and going from his street. The dummy in the woods, girl, we can't make some of this stuff up. And we'll play the audio call. Let's do that. So, what she's referring to is when they were literally searching for Sebastian, they found something in the woods. And it looked like a person standing in the woods. Well, they go in to find this person in the woods. They get on the ATVs, they haul ass out toward the woods. It turns out it was a mannequin chilling out in the woods, standing there. Yeah. Yeah, that's not creepy or anything, Riley, right? It's just normal shit. It's like you are investigating a missing persons case and you stumble across a mannequin in the woods. Like, what? Man, that's a lot. Gee whiz. And can you imagine how law enforcement probably felt when they saw that and didn't realize it was a dummy or mannequin, whatever, crash test dummy, who knows? Because the person's like, he's just standing there. And then as they approach, they realize it was just a mannequin in the woods the whole time. Yes, real happy, right? It's like, what in the actual fuck? I wonder if I can get it to, let's see. There we go. I just want to show you guys a little, before we pull up that next audio, let me show you a little, oh, whoa, no, we don't need that. Wrong button. If you look at the terrain around the home, which is always should be a go-to. Let's pull back. Oops, too far. Okay. You get the gist here. You see there's this little compact neighborhood they live in. You can actually see here the construction better. Okay, this is the better view. Here's where the construction was going down for the new part of the neighborhood, right? Okay. Go back. Here's the Ward Lane I was telling you, trying to show you guys earlier while I was having a little user malfunction. So if we zoom on in, you can absolutely see where it dead ends right there. Back behind the area. So anybody could have parked anywhere back there and met him once he left the construction site where the holding pond was. But if you go the different theory, Michelle After Dark's done a lot of work on what the caves in the area, because that was a really big legitimate concern. You have to be logical about a lot of things. If he did run away and take off through the woods thinking he was going to get somewhere, what if? So in that 5-mile radius, we got a lot of radius here, right? A lot of radius behind this neighborhood. Look at it. It's vast. Okay, so when you go back in, though, there were a couple more ponds up through here through the woods, and there's scattered houses through the area. Now, if Sebastian took off and went this direction and went out through the woods, did he fall into one of the caves? Did he fall into an abandoned well? I was alive when the little girl, Jessica McClure, fell into a well. And the country spent, I forget how many days now, watching them try to get that little baby out of that well. So I know it can happen. And I'm totally shocked I hope that was her complete name, that I didn't get that wrong, old lady brain kicking in. But it was little baby Jessica. It was a whole ass thing. Cable TV had happened. We could all watch mass media at the same time. Lo and behold, it was like a miracle had happened. Oh, good times. All right, so there you see that the area behind the home. And while I got the map up, one more thing. I always seemed like I had a hard time finding that little street over here. I'm not going to point it out, but over here across the highway is where a person of interest in my mind lived. Okay, just across the highway. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, you think that a little child is a little different than a bigger boy, right? But the caves are very different. And law enforcement, TBI, FBI, they searched the caves. They didn't enter a lot of the caves because it was not safe, but they literally went in with cameras to a number of the caves, which is the more likely scenario because that's a thing there for their area. But they went in with cameras to a lot of those caves nearby right there in that 5-mile radius, and they came up with nothing. They didn't see him. Because you think if he did go into a cave, even for, say he ran away in the middle of the night, whatever, and he sought shelter in one, and there was a collapse, and then he's stuck. You have to take that into account. They went in with cameras, and nothing, he wasn't seen anywhere. But so, again, I think a lot of us go back to he met somebody. Because they searched the walls of the house, he's not there. And this camera that sees the garbage taking incident, the camera that sees them coming into the driveway and all of that, never sees Katie Proudfoot go into the garbage can with multiple bags of anything. Not even with one bag of anything. Right, Forrest? It was a whole, we were just like praying that little baby got out safely. And it was a damn miracle. It took those guys a lot of engineering work to get that done safely to get her out of there. And bless her little heart, little kids are resilient, guys. That little girl was determined. So, um, right? You can feel the ground sink a little bit there. That's scary thought, right? Scary thought. To think your child could run across the backyard or the open field playing and just get swallowed in. Look at oh no, that's gonna bring up the TikTok Tony of it all. He kind of got involved in that case too, come to think of it. Was it Caleb Harris? Did he fall down something like that and end up where he ended up? Oh my goodness, I can't. Okay. Lord. Lordy. Yeah, fell into a manhole. And there was a one that wasn't even secured or had a lid on it right across the street in the field. Did he fall into it and couldn't get out and ended up in the water facility thingy? Oh. Yeah, it's a possibility. Okay. Let's see here. This is the dispatch audio with some information in it. The 911 call we have as well. I guess we can start with that. Part one and there's two little pieces to that. Let's go ahead and play this one. Let me move this out of my way. Okay. Yeah, that case was crazy too. Sometimes, freak accidents do happen, but they're bizarre. But they happen. And sometimes they're hard to believe and hard to wrap our heads around them. Yeah. Stranger things have happened. That's one of my go-to sayings. Stranger things have happened. You can never. My mama always told me, never say never, girl. The minute you start believing in that, oh, you're setting yourself up for some failure. Okay. Okay, let it start. It takes it a minute to start. Dispatch audio from February 26th. So the day Sebastian was reported missing. Where's my sound? Oh,
right now.
I had it muted. Sorry, that was my bad. Starting over.
Central 47 and 184.
24, long haul site, 360.
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old girl was not in the bed. We have white male, 3 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
10-4 in the house.
Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
47 to 12. Get there and see what's going on. Still on search of the residence. We'll go from there.
184. Your OCA will be 02197. 02197. And the call is 634. Sure.
When you get a chance, can you call all of the local hospitals just to make sure he's on one of those?
That's right. I said Hendersonville Medical Center ER, Center Station ER, Summer Regional ER, and Skyline, all clear of the juvenile. Also, I do have a 911 hang-up is pending at 132 Hollywood Boulevard, Zone 1. There is no call history, and they've attempted language line with no connection. Do you want me to clear it?
10-4 Central, you clear. 68 Central, K9's on the ground.
Copy, K9 on the ground.
Hey, Jenkins, he's on for 63 Central.
837.
I'll be 10-6 at Kara. Well, we're going north on Stafford.
47. Code Red has been launched. The Code Red has been launched.
Window open animal farm near Puppy Hollow, Central Point area. Go ahead.
Aw, Amy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That, my grandfather had Alzheimer's. They just want to go home, right? And sometimes they get very confused. Bless her soul. Well, I'm sure she made it home, but that was probably hard for your family. Sorry about that.
Next big track back up, going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach.
Boy, I'm behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on.
Awful muddy. Do you see any footprints or anything? He shouldn't have any shoes on. And then there's a little bit of confusion, I think, in the relay of what there's to each other, because he's going to come upon footprints, and then they're like trying to figure out, are they barefoot? Are they shoe prints? What do we got here? So we're going to be paying attention to that.
Hey, this is all dry, hard packed.
In that area.
Out at Stafford Court.
So the area that he was at was hard packed and dry. And then in other areas, there was like the muddiness, right?
See, we're now headed back south towards the cemetery on the far end of the construction site.
Simple, I can see you.
I do have some footprints over here.
Right there where you're standing?
Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond.
Footprints leading to the retaining pond. So if Sebastian walked out barefoot and going down the road, there's this pavement. But once you get to the construction site, it's red clay. So there's footprints leading toward the pond. Now remember, they drained that pond and they did not find him.
No shoes, just footprints. My shoes that Max.
Amy, you're right. I feel you, honey. I lost a loved one like 20 years ago. When I speak of it, the apologies and the well-meaning wishes come, but I get you when you're sitting in it, you're okay. You've healed from it, right? You've went on, and so I get it. It is a long time ago, but you can relate, right? So there's a lot of things in these cases that happen, especially with kids, that I can relate to. I think that's the beauty of a community. We all bring something to the table. We all have had an experience similar to or whatever, and we can share those. And sometimes that helps us understand things better. So I appreciate when you guys do share with us. As a community, I try to unpack this stuff with you guys, right? It's not all about what I know, what I want to tell you what's up, because I don't think that's the way that rolls. I'll share my opinion with you all day long and my theories, but I also want to hear what you guys have to say. And I love when you guys bring your experiences to the table as well, because it helps us all get to a better understanding. I would assume they did. From what we've heard, Carrie, they tore that house apart forensically. This day and age, you can't say it's not the parents. That's going to be your first go-to. Just like when the wife disappears or the girlfriend, the first go-to is the boyfriend or the husband, vice versa. And now when kids go missing, our first go-to is the parents. And I understand how we got there, but is it fair to go there every single time there's a missing, right? Is it fair to point the fingers at a spouse or a boyfriend every time? So many cases we've watched where that happened, and it turns out they didn't do anything at all. But you can't never not suspect them and at least look into the possibility. But I would assume they did, because that house was tore apart, and they went back a year later, back into the house again. Don't know why, but that's like curiosity, right?
Went straight into the pond. He literally dove into it.
He literally.
Well, they want you direct. I repeat that, right? Let me make sure he. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water.
Max led straight to the retention pond, then he dove right off into the water. Isn't that odd? I wonder if that's like a common thing a dog would do.
You see any prints around it?
Or did Max just say, water, playtime? I don't know.
There's a few footprints in some of the softer dirt headed straight this way on the track that he was running. 1247, what size shoe does he wear?
Size 10, 25 central. That's 2 Stafford Court.
Go ahead. Do we have a picture yet? That's simple. Can you send it to me, please?
Me too, Central. About Stafford Court call. Where the riprap is, where the trees are, 25 feet maybe out in toward the middle. 2D1.
I think this is the part where they discover the dummy in the woods.
2D1. Hey guys, the construction zone, there's another pond. There's somebody standing in the woods. It looks like a person. It is a person, we know, but there's another pond. He's standing back there by himself. Past the construction zone, in the same area back there.
Is that to the north of us?
Yeah, the north end of it, yeah. Where they're working on the machinery at, goes straight back. There's another pond back there, but there's a person in the woods by that pond. Past the house on the other side of the tree line.
So that second retention pond back there past the house behind the tree line, there's somebody standing in the woods. Riley asked if he's a SAR or canine because they're trained not to just, yeah, Max has been debated all over the internet, especially by Canine Jules. But I think there was an interview out there eventually with Max's handler. He was just a canine dog is all I really know, right? I don't think Max would have just jumped in the pond willy-nilly. But who knows how dogs' behavior is when they're out searching on a scent. If they track to a body of water, how prone would they be to jump into the water if that's where the scent just ended? So I don't know what triggered the dog to jump into the water. You know what I mean?
Going back toward beach or going on the back side? Yeah, on the back side, and he's not moving. He's just standing there by himself in the woods.
It's Hendersonville 517. I'm on the northeast corner in the cemetery across the tree line. Am I close?
No, the back side.
Nikki, if you can, do you have anybody there with you that can drop a what 3 words location?
Stand by. Let me see if I can find it on my map. I got my drone grounded for the moment, and I'll see if I can do it. Very it's over.
1 of the 2. I'm in my truck going up the corner. Can you see us?
Lance, hold up. I'm going to jump in with you.
2, there's 4 of us on foot coming across the yard. Start directions. 19's on the scene.
Everybody's on the ATV right there in that field, driving straight to the woods. Straight in, straight in. Keep going like you're going. Keep going. Go left, go left. Just come back, you passed it.
Ricky, there's 4 of us on foot on the other side. Pick us up and tell us which way to go.
Yeah, we only have 1 drone. We don't want to get off the target, and we got somebody close to it. All right, somebody's walking straight to it right there. So walk. There's 2 people right there. Walk like you're going. Walk like you're going.
Yep, they did, Abraham. The footprints and the dog led straight to the pond, and the dog picked up the scent from the house, and he went straight to the retention pond. But once he got to the pond, then he dove into the water.
Right. In the woods. You should be about 15 foot from it.
What's the child's first name?
Should be all over it, whatever it is right there. The 2 people walking the woods. It's a mannequin. Sorry, guys. Look just like a person from the air.
Sorry, guys. It's a mannequin. It looked like a person from the air. So they had a drone or something up looking, right, scouting the area, and ran across that damn mannequin in the woods. You're searching for a missing boy, and you see a mannequin standing down there. Of course, you got to go look. You have to. I remember Max being a regular canine, and their training is very different from SAR. Yeah. Police canines and SAR dog. There's all sort of different dogs out there that do all kind of fantastic work. You got cadaver dogs. You got dogs now that are trained to go into crumbled buildings looking for live people. We saw that during 9/11 and other like areas where earthquakes and stuff happen. You see it all the time now.
Hendersonville 66. Hendersonville 66. What's the name of the child that we're looking for?
First name is Sebastian.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
First name is Sebastian.
We have a last known physical description, height, clothing.
Last clothing description was black sweatpants with a white stripe, black long-sleeve t-shirt with a print.
Just one thing.
T3 Central back to service.
Nikki, how many drones do y'all have up? 1 at the moment. I've got mine grounded so I can get Sartopo up. I'll be back in the air momentarily.
10-4.
Got to get that Saratoga. So what they got to do is they got to grid everything. And plus they're going to have to grid where everybody went. Even their own footprints and backtracking and different things. And they put a lot of time. If you know, there's interviews with the guy from the TBI. There's another investigator that I really liked that he would come out and he would give a lot of good details. But they had this big, huge map and everywhere they looked and searched for this child and what they used to do the searches with. It was insane that he's not there. Like, you know, where could he have possibly have went?
Central on scene. Put 2 out here with me.
Bryce, call me, please. Timbo. Who's at the residence? I just got back here. 10-4, has anybody been there since the initial.
There's a whole bunch of people here now.
Okay, so this is footage from, that was that dispatch call there. That's not the 911 call that came in. And there's like a lot of traffic on the 911 call, and they're trying to get information quickly. And they talk about Katie riding around and looking for her son and all that. We'll review that. But maybe not tonight. I don't know if we'll have enough time. Now, this was an image of the last known thing they did, right, was they went to dinner at the Texas Roadhouse and ended their day, and then they went home, and that was what that is from. And there's like, we have all the whole footage of it. But they sit there, they dine, everything looks normal. Sebastian's eating. I think Bullhorn Betty came out and made this big deal about, look how he's eating like he's never had a meal. He's just scarfing his food down. I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Ma'am, put your glasses on. You ever raised a growing boy? They shovel that shit in as fast as they can sometimes. I don't even know if they taste it or swallow it. And if he's like my boy, the minute we finish breakfast, what's going to be for lunch today? When we finish lunch, what's going to be for supper tonight? Like, dude, can you just chill out? So this is just a little area of the map, on the map of the different locations. So that was ending that audio call. This is something I just threw together a long time ago. So pause it for a moment, and I've just started over. So at the top of the screen, you can see the scent dog. He takes off down Kellen toward the construction, which if you look, so this is a house across the street. The dog is going to take off back there in the background. You can barely see it back there. They're back there in the image. You can see them. Okay. So there he goes. See the dog? Trailing the scent. Now he looks like he's going across front yards right there and down the road. See how he's going? And they're like now having to jog behind this dog. I don't know if you guys can still see it. They're up here on the far right now going after the dog. This was that recent, well, that's not recent now, but this was released footage that shows a figure walking down the street at approximately 12:17. And there's been better footage that's been out. This is when, and the arrow, you can see it right there, the figure as it moves through, right? You could barely see it there. I think I have the longer version of that. It's crazy that the footage they do have that does show things doesn't appear to show Sebastian. Like they say they've confirmed who these people are in these random videos that are on the ring cams. Bobby's kids were out playing flashlight tag that night, I think. There was just a lot, you know, but nothing sees what we needed to see, which was Sebastian Rogers. And where could he be today? Even if he is no longer with us, he deserves to be found and given. There's never going to be a closure, but it can put her mind at ease in some ways, so she can start to move to her next step on a healing journey. Because I couldn't imagine just not knowing where my kid was. I couldn't imagine going to bed at night not knowing what happened to my child. I'm not sure I could live with that. That might be the hardest thing I would ever face in my life, and I don't know how I would sit with that. What kind of toll would it take? I know a mother who's been through that for a long time, over a decade. That's her life. And I couldn't imagine it. So if we can just, share the flyer from time to time, keep his image out there, still look when you go places, still look. Anytime there's a missing person's talked about on any stream you're watching, when you go out in public, think about that person you saw and look. You never know where they're going to turn up. You just never ever know where they're going to turn up. Could be across the country. It could be in the neighboring town, right? We never know. Yeah, butterfly. It would be hard to live with that one. And we're already asked to live with a lot in life, um, but geez, man, and not to have any indication. Even if you had clues, what do you do with them if they go nowhere, right? Would you constantly be worrying about what was law enforcement doing? What are they not telling me? What have they really done? I would have so many questions for law enforcement. And I've watched. I watched one just the other night again. It was a cold case, but this lady never gave up. Never gave up. And she would call and she would call. And finally, one day she said, I called and I was like, you know what? I think y'all need new eyes on my daughter's case. They put some new eyes on the case, and guess what happened? They ended up solving that cold case. So I think my energy would probably be turned toward that, right? Figuring out what happened. Look at Crystal Rogers' case. Her daddy put his heart and soul into trying to find her. It ended up murdered because of it. It's insane what people will do to each other, is what I always say. Yes, butterfly, thank you. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. It's all about him. And I really, I should have, I wonder if I can do it. Oh, I don't know if I have it on the computer to put his flyer up. I'll post it to the community tab, because it still needs to be shared. And maybe we can find him one day. We always also living in a rural area where there's a lot of hunting that goes on. We've heard that during hunting season, hunters stumble across things in the woods. It's happened. So that's where my thought went with that too. If he did just like wander off into the woods and something happened out there and he got hurt, would they find him come hunting season right out there? And that didn't happen. So I don't know. The thought of him being lost out there close to home is pretty much off the table in my mind. So, well, guys, it's 10 p.m. Central. I know it's 11 p.m. on the East Coast. It's a couple hours behind for all you others in the world and across the pond, and other countries hanging out with us and chilling. So, whatever time you're in, it's 10 p.m. my time. And we've been going for a couple hours, so I'm not going to keep you guys anymore tonight. We're going to call it a night. I think I'm going to go live tomorrow and talk about a little bit that's come down in the Idaho 4 case, so we can just get that unpacked, so I can focus on what I want to do coming up this week with the program here. Got a couple of things in the works that I'm working on. We need to do a case update show as well to get caught up on some things. Down to that Brian Walsh guy had a competency hearing the other day, to see if he was fit to stand trial, and they found him competent. I think he has a final pretrial hearing on Monday. I took some notes on different things I need to follow up on. Now I need to follow up on my notes, right? It's like, girl, get it together. But guess what? I'm slowly getting there, with this new time on my hands and schedule that I have. I'm not used to it, so it's taking me a minute, but I feel like I'm trying to get my groove back. So thank you all for coming in and hanging out with us. All of our new subscribers, if you're here, we appreciate you being here. Anybody who's going to get us on the replay, we appreciate that as well. If y'all don't mind hitting that like button, it really helps us get into the algorithm and get these stories out there, right? We need stories out there, and we need their faces out there, and to keep victims alive. And we don't want to become the story. We don't want to become the topic. We don't want to be a part of it. Behave, everybody. And y'all be safe on them YouTube streets. Y'all know what I say. It's dangerous out there. You think, Rachel, I'm debating if we should stream a trial. We haven't done that since Karen Reed, and honestly, well, wait, we did Lori Vallow after we kind of did both at the same time. That was a lot, and it was so overwhelming and tiring. But or cut our teeth on those two as far as streaming a trial. We were gearing up to stream the Kohberger trial, but of course that didn't pan out. I don't know if we'll be able to pull off streaming a trial with me using this hotspot, so we'll figure it out. We might do highlights, right, on it together and unpack it and see what happens. But you guys know the drill. Be safe on them YouTube streets. It's dangerous out there. Use your wear your helmets and use caution and all the things. And y'all have a good night. And I'll probably see you back here tomorrow sometime. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you all for watching this here video.